St. Louis come out and perform their 26-point tune-up on your garage door and opener. One price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
Check it out. St. Louis, Mound City. We are going to have a great day today.
On 104.1 FM.
Let's take it from the top.
KMOX.
Hey, good morning on a Tuesday. It is the Chris and Amy Show, and we are warm. It's going to be
muggy.
84 or something like that. 83,
Warm.
84 today, and then right back to the 60s. But
it's humid, which makes it worse.
yes. Yeah, well, at least it's humid.
At least it's humid.
Last night I noticed that it was pretty nice most of the day. And then last night I thought, I'm going to open the door. Let's feel the air come in. Like, ugh, it's gross out here.
I've had my
it's coming. Bad stuff.
Yeah, I've had my AC on since Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
314-436-7900. Join the show today by calling and texting. We did call in crab yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You can continue to leave us your crabs.
Because I have a new crab.
I know you told me about it earlier, so we can tell the people about it later. 314-436-7900 or on the Odyssey app, you can leave us voice messages. Super easy to do. If you're listening to the show live on that app, there's a button that says send a message, and that's all you have to do.
And I did want to point this out as well. A lot of people listen on our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't listen live, wherever you get your podcasts, the Chris and Amy Show, you can subscribe, download, never miss a thing. So don't forget the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast is always there for you.
Makes us look good.
KMOX.com or the Odyssey app. You can also watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We are at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Hey, you remember the former Missouri Speaker of the House, John Deal? Well, he's going to jail. He has been sentenced to federal prison for misusing COVID relief money.
That's not great. What is great is that today is Chris Ranji's favorite day. And
My favorite holiday.
3 Flags Day.
Oh,
and
man.
if you're wondering what is 3 Flags Day, well, Washington University's Peter Castor, professor of history and American culture studies, joins us at 9:30.
I mean, we really should celebrate 3 Flags Day a little bit more.
I'm not going to lie. I'd never heard of it until you told me about it.
You're going to get a history lesson today. This show is here to inform and to entertain. Today, we're going to inform.
Well, hopefully
Blues,
a little entertaining.
The Blues will play the Islanders tonight. Why do they keep winning? The Blues now are winning.
Well, because they're ruining everything. What is interesting, though.
Braden Shen is returning.
That's right.
Already.
I mean, it was such a weird trade because the New York Islanders happened to be staying at the same hotel because it was a back-to-back for the San Jose Sharks. So they were at the same hotel as the Blues when Braden Shen was traded. So he quite literally walked down the hall. Interesting. That trade might not have happened if the Islanders hadn't been at that hotel because Braden had to waive his no-trade clause. But guess who was down the hall to talk him into it? Hall of Famer Patrick Waugh, the coach of the New York Islanders.
Well, a thing is happening here in the state of Missouri, Amy, or at least it looks like it might. And I'm a little surprised we are going down this path. Now, nothing is official yet, and there is a distance to go. But the Archbishop of St. Louis, along with some lawmakers in the state of Missouri, and we're talking people on both sides of the aisle here. And again, I don't know why, but I am a little surprised that there seems to be some momentum here. But Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky was with Representative Jim Murphy, who is a Republican out of St. Louis. They are introducing legislation to replace the death penalty with a life sentence without the possibility of parole. So effectively doing away with the death penalty in Missouri. Now, you and I have had this conversation multiple times over the last few years that we have done this show. And you know that generally speaking, I am not in favor of the death penalty. And it is not these poor souls, how can we do this to them after they've committed a crime or a murder? It's not about that. I don't lose sleep if somebody we know for a fact has committed heinous crimes. I don't lose sleep over it if they are then put to death. My problem with the death penalty in general is the one time we get it wrong, you can't take it back. So we spoke to a number of people on this issue before, that there are people on death row, and even if the percentage is low, and this is around the country, that even if the percentage is low, if it's one person or two people or even 5 who are on death row wrongfully, and they are about to be put to death or have been put to death, that to me is something that we should not be doing. The government shouldn't be in that business. It's because you just can't take it back, because you figure out 10 years after the fact, oh my gosh, this guy didn't commit the murders. We now have evidence. We have DNA evidence. It's something you cannot reverse. At least if you put somebody in prison, while it's a mistake, you can have organizations like the Innocence Project who go to work on that case, and mountains of evidence will appear, and you'll know, oh my gosh, this person did not commit this crime. We need to remove them from prison. And then they get out of prison, and they may have lost 15 years of their lives, but still it's reversible, right? So I am happy this is happening. I hope it actually goes through. I'm a little surprised that there is so much agreement on this, at least on the surface. It looks like people on both sides of the aisle are on board with this idea.
It's interesting because, as we mentioned, the St. Louis Archbishop Mitchell Rosansky was in Jeff City, and he stood alongside Representative Jim Murphy, a Republican from St. Louis. They introduced legislation to replace the death penalty with a life sentence. Now, year after year, this tends to happen. People want to make the death penalty illegal in Missouri, but it usually doesn't get a committee hearing. And this is the first one in 8 years to get a committee hearing. Representative Steve Butts, who's a Democrat from St. Louis, he is also in favor of this. And it's very personal for him because Steve Butts' sister was murdered in Seattle 15 years ago. And the Butts family told prosecutors not to pursue the death penalty. They didn't want it for the person, for the defendant. Now, it does have some support on both sides of the aisle. And you and I have talked about this a lot, where I am not against the death penalty. I'm not for it in all of the cases for which it has been used. I think there's a couple of issues for me right now. As you mentioned, you better be darn sure you have the right guy. And there is a reason why a lot of times people are on death row for years and years, and sometimes decades, right? You very rarely see someone be sentenced to the death penalty
and then 5 years
immediate.
later it's over.
Yeah,
right.
That never happens.
Right.
It's usually decades. So there is time. There is time even with the current system. One thing that I think we need to do if we do have the death penalty is people, and this is our state, this is Mississippi, this is Georgia, Texas, you have got to figure out how to enact the death penalty humanely, because we have seen botched attempts. Yeah. And this has been something for people who are even pro-death penalty, have been against the introduction of like medicine for the death penalty. It gets really, really messy. And obviously, a lot of doctors, don't want to be the person who's enacting or who's administering that drug. So whatever we're doing, we don't have our act together enough, I think, right now for the death penalty.
As a country?
As a country.
Yeah.
It needs to be done humanely. And the fact that it's done in so many different ways and that it gets botched or it's painful, that is on the government to fix that process. If you are going to have the death penalty, you got to do it in a humane way. And they're not doing that all the time. And again, where I am okay with the death penalty, there was, it was a few years ago, Cori Bush, who was the Missouri representative at the time, tweeted out all the names of the people who had been put to death by the death penalty. And she said, say their names. And I found that very, very offensive, because when you look at what these individuals did, Ranj, I had to stop reading the crimes that these people committed because it was so grotesque. It wasn't he murdered someone. It's really beyond the pale. You can't even wrap your mind around some of the level of premeditated and consistent evil. So for me, there are certain cases where I'm okay with the death penalty. I think we've probably lowered the standard for like what type of crime it takes, where I feel like the standard should be higher. And then also it needs to be done humanely.
So to me, it's not about the nature of the crimes. It's about knowing for absolutely sure the person you have in jail, on death row, in prison, has committed that crime. Because, yeah, if you explain, well, here's what happened. Here's what this monster did to this other person in detail. You would hear it and go, oh, my God, yeah, put that guy to death.
Mm-hmm.
Kill him. That's not the problem. The problem is, are you sure you have the right guy?
And you need to be 100% sure. And
we have, countless people are on death row who have only ended up there because of the testimony of somebody else. And a lot of times the witness were not coerced, but maybe they felt like they were, maybe they did take, not a bribe, but maybe they took the reward money, or maybe they had a personal vendetta against somebody and testified, and then years down the road recanted that testimony, but nothing happens because that person has already been killed. There have been cases like that. I don't think the state should be in the business of taking the life of somebody else, because if it's not 100%, that means that some people are slipping through the cracks, and that isn't good enough for me. Because what if it's you? And we joke about this all the time, you and me, how one of our fears is being put in prison for a crime we didn't commit, And, we joke about it because the likelihood of that happening is very, very low. But what if it does? What if you are that person and you have done nothing wrong and you can't get anybody to believe you, or maybe you had lousy representation. Maybe you didn't have a proper attorney to help you out. I think these are real, actual things that do happen.
And that's why, for me, I am not 100% against the death penalty, but we have to keep the standard higher. The standard needs to be higher for the crimes and the evidence, specifically the evidence, as Ranj mentioned. And also, we might want to stay some executions until each state can figure out a humane way to follow through with these executions, because the botched executions that are happening, or an execution where it's somebody's in pain for hours and doesn't die, that is untenable. To your point, Ranj, we talked about this, maybe it was a year ago, Marcellus Williams.
Yes.
Who was accused of murdering a woman. It was a terrible crime scene. She'd been stabbed. But what they did find out is that the testimony of the witnesses was motivated.
Very unreliable
And motivated. And the witnesses themselves had rap sheets. And then secondly, it was discovered that the DNA evidence was spoiled from someone in the prosecutor's office touching the knife without gloves. The hearing was canceled. And this was actually a case that then Governor Greitens had a panel to investigate to see if there was enough evidence for Marcellus Williams to be put to death. And the thing is, if there is even a shadow of a doubt, if you have any questions, the death penalty should not be an option. That person can stay in jail,
sure, of course,
but the death penalty should not be an option if there is a shadow of a doubt. And there was doubt with Marcellus Williams. Even if you think, well, he was probably good for it. Well, that's not how our justice system should work, is if you think he was probably good for it.
Yeah, probably good for it is not 100% good for it. And when you're taking the life of somebody else, it better be 100% good for it. And that's, as we have said, that you can't take it back if you get it wrong. You can't. And I think a lot of people who are heavily in favor of the death penalty think that the options are, it's either death penalty or you let the person go. Well, no, we're not talking about letting them go. We're talking about having them be in prison, which is still a punishment, and you are still taking them off the streets. This is House Bill 2153. Corrections Committee has to approve it. If they do, it will need a vote from the House, and then it will go to the Missouri Senate for consideration. But right now, Missouri is one of 27 states in the country. 27. I thought it was less than half, but it is just over half of the states in the country allow the death penalty. Give us your thoughts. 314-436-7900. Leave us voice messages on the Odyssey app as well. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
Cardinals single-game tickets are now on sale for the 2026 season. The schedule delivers big-time matchups, including weekend series against the Cubs and Dodgers, and visits from the Boston Red Sox. Add in a promotions calendar stacked with fan favorites like all-new giveaways, a Hawaiian short and shirt set, golf-inspired hat, dark mode jersey, and a whole lot more. It's Busch Stadium at its best all season long. Lock in your seats today at Cardinals.com.
Life can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to go through it alone. On my podcast, From the Heart with Rachel Brathen, I share openly and vulnerably about everything life brings us and what we can learn by living with our hearts a little bit more open. Every Friday, a new episode brings you a new story with topics on self-care, motherhood, healing, and more. You are enough, just the way you are. This podcast is a reminder of that. Follow and listen to From the Heart with Rachel Brathen wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives. If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Baby, you're the Speaker of the House, and suddenly you're getting sexy texts from a 19-year-old.
Well, that's not.
And maybe you have to step down.
No, you're sending them to the 19-year-old.
That's right.
That's what.
And
Don't put it on her.
You commit COVID fraud.
Okay, that did happen. You know, former Missouri House Speaker John Deal, who resigned about a decade ago, a little over 10 years ago, because he was sending sexy texts to a 19-year-old intern. He had to resign
Hey, Ron, should I just clarify? Was he married with 3 kids at the time?
Let me check. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And he was 49?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought. And he was sending sexy texts to a 19-year-old.
You are correct.
We can't read those sexy texts on the air because they are too sexy.
We cannot read the sexties. So the Kansas City Star published a story about this in May of 2015.
Yeah.
And he had to resign. Of course, he is an attorney. He has his own law firm. In 2020, so 5 years later, we had COVID. Remember COVID?
Yeah.
Wasn't good. He decided to put in for COVID relief money. And he received $379,000 in COVID relief money to keep his law firm afloat, which great. Hey, that's what the money was there for.
Mm-hmm.
We were in a once in a lifetime pandemic. You didn't want businesses to fail through no fault of their own. So we had to do this, right? Well, so why is he in trouble? Well, he wasn't using the money for his law firm. He was using it for personal expenses, like making mortgage payments or car payments or paying his country club dues.
You got to pay the country club dues.
He had his pool allegedly fixed with this money. And he put some of that money into his own personal retirement account.
And he also,
allegedly.
Yes. And you talked about car payments because he had to pay for a Tesla, an Audi,
right,
and a Jeep.
Yes. And so he is now going to the pokey.
We forgot one other thing, which sounds almost benevolent because prosecutors said he did use more than half the money to fund his law firm's benefit plan.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, okay. The thing is, he is the only participant in the law firm's benefit plan. Yeah.
Okay. So that's not great then. At any rate, he is going to federal prison. And so the recommendation is 21 to 27 months in federal prison as a result of this. And the judge made a point that, John Deal is not broke. He's done pretty well for himself. And the point was made that if the only punishment is you have to, and I'm paraphrasing here, just pay back the money you took, well, that's not really a punishment, is it? Because I'll just give the money back. Yeah. Sorry, hey, my bad.
It's a real
Here's
no
the
harm,
money.
no foul.
Right.
Yeah.
So there has to be punishment here. So he is going to report to prison.
Because John Deal did ask the federal court, as you mentioned, to spare him from prison because he had paid back all the pandemic relief funds to the Small Business Administration. If I were so profoundly stupid as to be the Speaker of the House in Missouri and have a wife and 3 kids and send super sexually charged texts to a 19-year-old intern to a teenager, if I were so stupid and I just had a profound lack of judgment and perhaps a psychotic self-absorption, and I did those, and I sent the sexts, and then I stepped down once I was found out, I stepped down from Speaker of the House, and I left, the Missouri legislature. I would think, you know what? I was an idiot. I'm going to try to not be an idiot in the future because I was a complete idiot. And he did not learn that lesson because in 2023, too, he also got a $47,000 fine for campaign finance violations.
What's that?
He used nearly $7,000 of campaign funds to pay for personal expenses.
Like what? Anything good?
It didn't note it this is from the Associated Press. It didn't note the story. I bet it was fun, though.
Well, it had
Maybe
to be
pool
fun.
stuff. Maybe a jet ski. Who knows?
If you do, I think that anybody from here on out who is intending to commit COVID money relief fraud, you have to run it by us and tell us what you're going to spend it on, and then we tell you if it's okay. Okay? And then
do we get to use the pool?
No, we just get to this. Okay, not a crime.
What country club was it?
It doesn't say, but it was his country club that he belonged to, not somebody else's.
At any rate, I'm not shedding any tears because an idiot's going to prison for 21 months.
And the death penalty is not in play.
No, the death penalty is not in play, Ranj.
That was last segment.
Sexting is not.
No, it's not.
It's
Yeah,
bad,
but
it's
right,
usually not death penalty.
Right. One of my favorite days of the entire year, and I think should be a much better holiday. We should celebrate Three Flags Day here in St. Louis because it is historically very cool. It is when the ownership of the country was officially transferred to the United States. And I think it's a super cool ceremonial thing that happened here a couple of 100 years ago. And we're going to talk to one of our favorites, Professor of History and American Culture Studies at WashU, Peter Castor. If you'd like to be educated, if you want to learn a little something, then you're going to want to stick around for Peter Castor. He's coming up next. Right now, FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost, for every single college game through March 15th. How about this? From now until that final 68 is revealed, you're getting daily profit boosts for a chance at bigger winnings on your college basketball bets. You do not want to miss this. Trust me, this is a great way to get involved. So here's what you can do. You can build the same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout, or you can try live betting. So that means you jump right in after tip-off has already happened, and you can bet then. Best of all, with FanDuel, you're going to get paid instantly if and when you win. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
KMOX, delivering accurate, timely reporting every day and rising to the moment when major stories unfold.
I think the president has all the authority he needs to protect the country from the revolutionary regime in Iran.
The Iranian Air Force is no more.
The U.S. government said to all Americans in the Middle East, get out.
There are real fears a longer conflict could lead to higher inflation. One reason? Rising gasoline prices.
We will now begin to expand inland.
If it matters, it's on. 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's humid, so if you like that, you're going to love today. 67 degrees, a high of 82 today.
Gross. Stop it.
The thing is, it's going to stay breezy, be overcast tonight. There could be some late night thunderstorms. Some could be severe with flooding downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, maybe an isolated tornado, a low of 61. So watch out for that.
Well, it better be isolated. It's a tornado.
This evening.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave? That's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan, no closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan in MLS 226715.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
See, I love stuff like this. I'm a bit of a history nerd. I'm a history buff.
I'm a bit of a history buff. That's early onset Republicanism.
That's what Shane
According
Gillis
to
says.
Shane Gillis, the comedian.
See, and I don't think it is. I've always been a history buff, and I am not going there. And I'm going to tell you that one of that Three Flags Day, which is happening today here in St. Louis, March 10th, is a day that I never learned anything about it when I was in school, when I was a kid. And it wasn't until much later I found out about it. And then I was fascinated by the ceremony that took place here, the significance of it, what it meant for the country, and how in the hell do we not talk about it? How in the hell do we not really celebrate it? Because it's such a cool thing. So with us is the professor of history and American culture studies at WashU, Peter Castor, friend of the show, is in studio. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Could you please explain to the folks again what Three Flags Day is?
Of course. And I realize the way I tend to explain it is, so July 4th is the day that the British colonies became American. Three Flags Day is the day that Missouri became American. It marks the date in 1804. It's actually over 2 days. On March 9th and March 10th, 1804, there was a transfer of power that concluded with the United States acquiring this area called Upper Louisiana, which was part of the Louisiana Purchase. It went from what is currently the Louisiana-Arkansas border all the way to Canada, and then from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. It's called Three Flags Day because on March 9th, Spain, which had been governing here, ceded its governing authority to France, and that paved the way on March 10th for France to surrender Upper Louisiana to the United States.
So why didn't it just go from Spain to the United States? Why did it have to go through France?
Because that would be way too simple.
Yeah.
So
It was a three-way deal, and then Spain got some draft picks in the future.
That's right. That's right.
player
They got a
named
top
later.
round draft.
Yeah, they got a top round draft pick.
It's very funny. So France actually owned the territory. France had claimed what is now Missouri throughout most of the 18th century, but had ceded it to Spain in 1763. And so Spain governed the area that's now St. Louis. But in 1800, France and Spain signed a secret deal through which this huge colony of Louisiana went from Spain back to France. But just to make it more complicated, France owned it, but under this agreement, Spain would continue to govern it. So even though most of the people living in St. Louis in 1803 spoke French, they were from France, or their ancestors were, the governing officials were all Spanish. So on March 9th, Spain surrendered that governing authority to France, which actually claimed to own the land. And that created the situation for France to surrender to the United States. There had been a similar ceremony in late 1803 in New Orleans, and that worked as much more simply, which is that a Spanish official surrendered to a French official who a month later surrendered to two American officials. Even more confusing in St. Louis.
That's how we do everything.
There you go. There was no French official on hand, so it was actually an American who stood in, a guy named Amos Stoddard, who was a U.S. Army officer, who stood in for France to receive Upper Louisiana on behalf of France. And then he oversaw the transfer to the U.S. on March 10th.
So we always picture the 13 colonies leading up to the revolution as becoming increasingly distinctively American, right? Like they were different than the British. And in my mind, that distinctly American culture branched out westward. But in 1800, did St. Louis feel more French than it did American, like it did on the East Coast?
I think that's a great question. And one thing I would say, a way to connect the residents of St. Louis to the residents of, in 1803 to the residents of, say, Philadelphia, where I grew up in 1775, is...
That's not when you grew up.
You didn't grow up in 1775.
Right. I grew up in Philadelphia in 1770. Yeah, I grew up in Philadelphia, but not in 1775. I'm not that old. Good point. Yeah. Is that they were all imperial subjects. Okay. So to the folks living in St. Louis, first of all, if you were of European ancestry, so let's remember that the area that is now Missouri was governed principally by Native American societies. The Osage were the most powerful, so they controlled most of what is now Missouri. If you came to St. Louis, where there were about 2,000 people, the lingua franca was French, and most of the people here were either of European or African ancestry. And if they were of European ancestry, they had either been born in France or they'd been born here. And there were very few Spanish officials. There were a few English speakers. Daniel Boone had moved over from Kentucky to what is now Missouri in the 1790s. Moses Austin, whose son Stephen F. Austin later led the Texas independence movement, had moved from Virginia into what is now Missouri. So there were a few English speakers, but they all saw themselves in 1795, 1799 as residents of the Spanish Empire. By 1802, they learned that the land had been traded back to France, and they said, well, I guess we're residents of the French Empire now. And if you lived in these European settlements in North America, the notion that you could, we're talking about draft picks, the notion that you could be traded back and forth, whether people liked it or not, it's something they were used to. There was a whole bunch of this kind of horse trading that went on in the 18th century.
And just as you mentioned, 2,000 people in the city of St. Louis in 1800.
Right.
Just a few years removed from the American Revolution, 1775 to 1783. So is it fair to say that the 2,000 people in the city of St. Louis weren't reading the Federalist Papers and had fought in the American Revolution? A lot of those people may not have done that. Like these were quite literally French and Spanish.
That's true, but some of them had fought in the American Revolution. The westernmost battle of the American Revolution was fought in St. Louis. And it wasn't fought between the British Redcoats and George Washington's Bluecoats. It was fought between, the British had tried to bring the war there, and a few British officers and their native allies had sought to attack St. Louis, and they were repelled by this thrown together force of the Spanish officials and the French-speaking militiamen and a small number of Anglo-Americans. So what's striking to me is they were well aware of the American Revolution. And in the run-up to this, we actually just found some documents of this recently from the Spanish officials here in the 1780s and 90s after the United States secured its independence. They were watching very closely what was going on in what's now Indiana and Illinois. And they said, they're all, there are these American settlers there, and they keep stirring up trouble. There was a long-going war between the United States and a major native confederacy in Ohio. And so they watched that. Certainly the Spanish officials watched that with great concern because they said these Americans cannot and will not be restrained. And at the same moment, they were trying to recruit them to Missouri because they wanted to build out the Euro-American population here. They also worried, they wanted to bring them over in this managed way. They were worried that if they just kind of were spilling over here, they'd bring trouble with them.
It just sounds so us.
It does.
So where did this, and we're visiting with Peter Castor, professor of history at WashU, where did the ceremony take place? Was it at the then governor's mansion outside? Is that correct? And where was that?
Yeah. So the St. Louis in 1804 was roughly, it's actually pretty easy to see now. It's roughly where the Arch grounds are now. That was it. This was a small trading outpost of a town. And so the governor's mansion was not far from the riverbank. The river has moved so much, it's hard to know exactly where it was, but it was held outdoors. It was very similar. It was much smaller, but it was similar to an event that had been held in New Orleans in what's now called Jackson Square. It was then called the Place des Armes. And those were the spaces where these kind of public events were held.
Last thing on this, what did France do with their 6 hours? They had they had control here. Did they do anything cool?
They didn't do anything cool.
They didn't do anything.
But no. I will say, so Amos Stoddard, who oversaw this, and it's important to know, he was there. Lewis and Clark were there because they were camped right across the river.
And then they went on the expedition right after, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In fact, they couldn't go until this transfer happened. The Lewis and Clark expedition was going nowhere until the Louisiana Purchase was finalized. They left in May, so not long after that, really from St. Charles is where they head out from. But Stoddard left these accounts where he claims that the residents of St. Louis, they celebrate at night, and he claimed there were celebrations. He basically claimed that the folks in St. Louis like to party.
Well,
yes,
obviously.
Well, yeah. John Taffer says it's one of the best bar cities in the country.
I think Amos Stoddard agreed.
Yeah, the Cardinals hats on. They're all wearing jerseys, drinking Budweiser.
Peter Castor is with us, professor of history. And you know something, I love Three Flags Day. Obviously, we talk about it every year. I think this is a routine for us now.
A tradition.
But also, Amy and I have been speaking about, and we do this segment called The Way We Were. And maybe we just have this higher view of the way things used to be and the way politicians used to speak. And we want to get your thoughts on that when we come back. It's just things are very different now than they were even 10 years ago. So I want to get your thoughts on it. Peter Castor, professor of history at WashU, with us on the Chris and Amy Show.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Tom Ackerman is in Jupiter, Florida, with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for Burn Balance Complex, which is the latest tool you can find at supplement superstores. It is top of the line. This is a complete metabolism system, not just a fat burner. So you get the metabolism boost, all-day focused energy with no jitters or crash. You get help with appetite control and cravings, and it'll reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels. It is a fantastic tool, especially for those who don't want prescriptions or injections. So get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Indian psychic and spiritual healer in St. Louis. Call 314-574-2667. Expert specialist in reuniting loved ones and husband and wife issues, family problems, and unnatural health and sickness, business and job-related issues. Special remedies to deal with negative energy, love spells, black magic issues, evil energies, and curse removal. Performs all types of spiritual prayers to heal the negative energy, balance the chakras, and much more. Contact Master Raj at 314-574-2667.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have two nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We're scared. We're scared of an Obama presidency.
I have to tell you, he is a decent person and a person that you do not have to be scared as president of the United States. Now, Now, look, I
can't trust Obama. I have read about him. He's an Arab.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen that I just happen to have disagreements with on fundamental issues. And that's what this campaign is all about. He's not. Thank you.
I appreciated his reminder that we can disagree while still being respectful of each other.
Senator John McCain and Barack Obama. Back in the presidential election, we have played, I think, a few clips from that era when Obama and McCain were running against each other. And I think one thing that stands out is a mutual respect for the other candidate, for respecting the other candidate as a person, always defending the other's character despite having policy disagreements, and a certain level of decorum that was maintained at all times. And we are not naive to think that politics was somehow pure and clean in the past, but it does feel that the public-facing discussions and conversations had a certain level of decorum and lacked the character assassination that we see now. Now, we have Peter Castor with us, and he is a professor of history and American culture studies at Washington University. And Peter, are we deceiving ourselves? Well, what is your take on the evolution of politics over the past even 30, 20, 10 years?
Yeah, that's a great question. First of all, you're not deceiving yourselves. So I think generally speaking, you're right. Now, I will say that the Obama-McCain contest was kind of a high point for the notion that the two candidates could treat each other respectfully. And that occurred not just during the campaign. And it isn't just they treated each other respectfully. They treated their voters, they treated their opponents' voters respectfully. And one of the things I always assign in my presidency class is Obama's victory speech and McCain's concession speech, which are remarkable. It's two of the best speeches they ever gave. And part of the reason my students think they're so great is that both of them really give credit to their opponent and to the people who supported the opponent. So in some ways, it was an unusual moment, but it was still a way that presidential candidates especially had spoken about each other. And you're right, when they would contest each other, it was hard fought, at times vicious, but you would have candidates who would still speak to each other very differently. And probably the 2012 election, the Barack Obama against Mitt Romney, was the last of those that we've had. And I think about the students I teach now, they've had 3 presidential elections in which the combatants really were combatants. And it isn't just that Donald Trump has a particularly combative political style, but Hillary Clinton was really fierce in her criticism of Donald Trump in 2016. The 2020 election was pretty vicious. So was 2020. And so it really did change. And I think the way I see it is the way that candidates would interact with each other that we saw between Obama and McCain really started probably in the 1960 election. It was a really hard fought fight between Kennedy and Nixon. I mean, it was really tough, but because those were the first presidential debates, and presidents say, well, I'm going to talk directly to this opponent, and they figured out a way to do that respectfully. So that's a particular way this has operated. But the notion that presidential candidates were supposed to treat each other with some degree of respect, especially at the moment of victory, is very old. And the first one who really did that publicly was Thomas Jefferson. When Thomas Jefferson was elected in his inaugural, he said, "We are all Republicans, we are all Federalists." And his point was to say, we're all Americans. And even though he had been deeply critical of John Adams, he did not go after Adams after he was elected. And Adams did not go after Jefferson in defeat. So that notion that it's good for the country if presidential candidates treat each other with respect, they're supposed to model the ways that Americans should disagree. We're not deceiving ourselves when we say that's been an aspiration. And it's one that candidates really, they developed a way of doing this starting in the 1960s. So it's what we've known our entire lives. And now it's changed very abruptly in the last decade.
The environment that we are in, is it possible to get back to that?
So that's a great question. And to some degree, I'll punt on this so I'm a historian. I study what happened in the past. I don't predict what's going to happen in the future, but I think it's entirely possible. I mean, there have been periods of really nasty political contests where candidates have really gone after each other, and then things have changed significantly after that. I would say, so the 1972 presidential election was really tough. George McGovern was representing a political constituency that saw Richard Nixon as kind of the devil incarnate. And Nixon himself really went after McGovern. That's just sort of one example I'm thinking of. And then, the Carter and Ford treated each other quite differently. So this can change. It all depends on who you nominate and how they sort of position each other, what kind of personalities they are.
Well, hopefully we can get back to that, because
I would hope
it may not have been perfect, but it seems a lot better than what it is now, I think.
I'm a big fan of etiquette.
Yeah, I
like
kind of,
etiquette.
especially from people at the top, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Peter Castor, you're fantastic. Thank you for coming in. Happy 3 Flags Day.
Happy 3 Flags Day to you as well.
Peter Castor, professor of history and American culture studies at Wash U, with us on KMOX.
A night of live rock you gotta see. Foghat and Nazareth. With special guest, The Babies. Saturday, May 2nd at the Family Arena. Foghat, Nazareth, Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Nazareth and Foghat live. Sawyer Brown.
Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do.
And Lone Star.
Every little thing that you do, baby, I'm a
Live this Saturday night at 7, the Family Arena. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Sawyer Brown and Lone Star together live.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate. Evans is a proven fighter and the only candidate for U.S. Senate with guts and know-how to get the job done. As an attorney, she took on China and corporate criminals. Jeannie Evans won billions for working families. As senator, Evans will fight and win for you. She'll work to cut taxes and lower the cost of living. Evans believes that keeping Illinois safe will take more than just wishful thinking. It takes courage, and Jeannie Evans has the record to prove it. Evans will always be tough on crime. She'll hold China accountable for trafficking fentanyl and stealing our personal data. Jeannie Evans puts America first. A proven fighter. Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate.
I'm Jeannie Evans, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Illinois.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 10 o'clock and we've got sunshine, 70 degrees already in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Iran firing more drones and missiles at Israel and Gulf Arab countries as it keeps up pressure on the Middle East. The war launched by the United States and Israel has sent oil prices surging. The Saudi Defense Ministry said that it has destroyed 2 drones over the kingdom's oil-rich eastern region, while in Kuwait, the National Guard says it shot down 6 drones attacking that country's northern and southern areas. President Trump has sent contradictory signals about how long the war could last, adding to uncertainty that's causing the markets to swing. Although right now the Dow is up 233.5 points. A Metro East city is holding a meeting tonight to discuss regulations around data centers.
This is just business. It's not personal, and people need to understand that.
Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson, he says there are no plans to bring a data center to Granite City at this time, but he believes they might be the right fit for one.
St. Charles, I think the issue was that it was close to the Bush Wildlife Reserves, and nobody wanted it out there. In Troy, that's not an industrial community. They didn't want an industrial, business in their backyards. In Granite City, we're full of industry.
He says these meetings are so they can establish regulations around electrical and water usage, noise, and distance to residential areas. The meeting is tonight at 5 at the Mill Event Center. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
As the number of proposed data centers in Missouri grows, so do the number of lawsuits designed to stop them from being built. Chris Acevedo, a University of Central Missouri economics professor in Warrensburg, tells MissouriNet why data center lawsuits are on the rise.
It boils down to local residents feeling like they're going to get stuck bearing the costs of these data centers, which generate tremendous benefits, but those benefits don't always go to the local communities.
He says they often instead go to out-of-state companies that build them along with their investors. As for whether data center lawsuits threaten economic development, Acevedo suggests it varies depending on each individual location and the circumstances involved. From the KMOX business desk, Missouri lawmakers advancing a plan to merge St. Louis Dome and Convention Center. It would merge the Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority, which oversees the Dome, with Explore St. Louis, the group in charge of the Convention Center. It passed the House on Monday. The bill aims to unify the operations and funding of both venues, something owners of the Dome have been struggling with since the Rams left in 2016. The bill now awaits a vote in the Senate.
Sunshine mixing with clouds, breezy and very warm this afternoon, high 84. The record is 86 at a 1955. Mostly cloudy, breezy and warm tonight with a couple of severe thunderstorms, especially after midnight. They can produce flooding downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, even an isolated tornado, the low 60. Windy and turning much cooler tomorrow with rain and a thunderstorm around through midday. The high 67. Temperature will drop into the upper 40s by sunset. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, sunny and 70 degrees downtown. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's hour 2 of the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Peter Castor's awesome.
We wouldn't let him
He's
leave.
great.
We had him in Studio B. We were asking him questions. Not enough time. He can when I'm on vacation. I think Peter Castor should be the co-host.
Oh my God, I agree. I would rather this be a 3-hour history lesson than anything else.
When I tell you I'm geeking out, this is the highlight of my week. Nothing we do will be better than that 30 minutes talking to Peter Castor.
Just to go back to the conversation we were having about politics now and political candidates, presidential candidates, the way they talk to each other and what it was when McCain and Obama were running. And it really wasn't that long ago. I mean, we're talking 18 years that election happened and how respectful those two candidates were of each other. And even in 2012 with Romney and Obama, it was still like that. Maybe not quite as respectful, but it was still there. And Peter Castor saying he shows his students the speeches, the acceptance and the acceptance speech by Obama and the concession speech by McCain and how they talked about one another. And Peter Castor saying that his students, some of them are in tears.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that. They know this. Their entire lives, their entire conscious lives have been these candidates. And Donald Trump is a candidate.
And not just as a candidate, not just as president, but as the single most important political figure of their lives, their conscious lives as students who can comprehend politics and history and into college. It's Donald Trump. And that is so different than how it's been because I was young, but I remember H.W. Bush. I remember Ross Perot and his charts. He always had charts, and Bill Clinton, obviously, George W. Bush. Because now I'm getting older, but there have been so many different politicians, even different scandals, and what qualified as a scandal and what was disqualifying as a candidate. All of that has changed. The fact that Dukakis looks stupid with a helmet
riding around in a tank,
yes, was disqualifying for him would be incomprehensible to kids who are in high school and college now who don't know anything different. And you talk to high schoolers, like I said, whether it's, in our age group, Ron, like all my friends have kids who are in elementary, high school, and college. We're at that age where you could have very young kids or you could have college-age kids. Same with family members. So, on any given day, I'm talking to high schoolers. How's it going? What are you learning about? What do you think about this issue? And their experience with politics, government, not just from the politicians themselves, but even from peers and how they act is so different. It's so different than our experience.
It's just, I can't imagine. Well, I guess I can, but it's difficult to do it, to think of a time, to think of being one of these students in college now, 19, 20 years old, and you see a speech of a president who has just won an election who says, you know what, even if you did not vote for me, I am going to be your president. You may not have voted for me, but I'm still on your side. To have somebody do that, they probably see that and go, wow, what is that? What are you talking about? That's insane. That's insane. We're not lobbing bombs at each other. Are you kidding?
Yeah, and which, when you think about it, that should be the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
For a president to say, I'm also the president of people who didn't vote for me. Yeah, you're the president of the United States. I did bring up this book. I cannot recommend it enough. If you are a geek like me and you love whether it be history or the Constitution, big fan. I'm a big fan of the Constitution. American Covenant by Yuval Levin is so good, and it really highlights how our system of government, our Constitution, really shapes the American people and our culture, and how the principles embedded in the Constitution they unified us a long time ago, and they could reunify us again. But there has to be a certain level of respect and understanding of the Constitution for that to work.
Oh, you have to have some reverence for the document yourself.
Yes. It can't save you if you're okay with tearing pages out of it and throwing it. But at any rate, we did have our segment, which you brought up, to Peter Castor, The Way We Were. This one's a little bit different, which, not as political. But in 1981, in March of 1981, so this month, would that be
45 years?
45 years.
Yep.
45 years ago, Walter Cronkite signed off for the last time.
This is my last broadcast as the anchor man of the CBS Evening News. For me, it's a moment for which I long have planned, but which nevertheless comes with some sadness. For almost 2 decades, after all, we've been meeting like this in the evenings, and I'll miss that. But those who have made anything of this departure, I'm afraid, have made too much. This is but a transition, a passing of the baton. A great broadcaster and gentleman, Doug Edwards, preceded me in this job, and another, Dan Rather, will follow. And anyway, the person who sits here is but the most conspicuous member of a superb team of journalists, writers, reporters, editors, producers, and none of that will change. Furthermore, I'm not even going away. I'll be back from time to time with special news reports and documentaries, and beginning in June, every week with our science program, Universe. Old anchormen, you see, don't fade away. They just keep coming back for more. And that's the way it is. Friday, March 6th, 1981. I'll be away on assignment, and Dan Rather will be sitting in here for the next few years. Good night.
What an established voice, what a legacy that Walter Cronkite had when so many Americans watched the CBS Evening News. There were only so many news outlets, right? You didn't have the 24-hour news of CNN or whatever. And he was such a trusted voice. And Ron, I don't know if you have this, but sometimes I'm really interested in how broadcasters covered tragic events in the moment. And you've talked about this, that one of the first times, if not the first time, that a television news interrupted scheduled programming was the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Is that right?
It was the first time they went wall to wall with coverage as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
And
then you watch it and you can tell this has never happened before.
Yeah. So the CBS News, it was 12:30 in the afternoon when it happened. There was a soap opera on, and the 50th anniversary of the assassination, CBS did a really fascinating thing on their website where you could start watching, and I think it was at 12 o'clock. And they did it at the time. So it was right at noon on November 22nd. They started airing, or they put on their website programming as it was at that time. So if you checked in at 1:45 in the morning, you were seeing what was on at 1:45 a.m. that day it happened. And it was a very, very cool thing. And they break in a couple of times after the shooting with a little bulletin. And then he comes on and or no, it was somebody else. I can't remember who it was. It was somebody else who comes on at first, and you see him stand up. This was after maybe an hour or so of programming. He stands up and says, okay, Walter Cronkite's going to take over now. And he gets up and walks away from the desk, and here Cronkite comes and sits down.
Yeah.
It was very seat of their pants. They didn't know what was going on. They never had done that before. It's not as polished as it is now. It was super fascinating how that all worked out.
So I watched that. I've also watched different coverage. Now, this was obviously much later, but September 11th, 2001, you can go back and watch the Today Show. I mean, they're right there. They're down the street.
Yeah.
And you can see their faces. And there's actually one moment when the second tower is hit. So they're covering the first tower and they think it's an accident. And when the second tower is hit, you hear the cameramen and the sound guys gasp. Like you hear the crew. And how the broadcasters, the same with Walter Cronkite and with what happened with the assassination of JFK, there's no speculation. It's a repeating of the facts. It's very measured. It's not emotional. And I always study that to see how they compose themselves, how they make sure they don't say anything that hasn't been verified, how they don't jump to the worst case and go, well, I hope it's not this. I mean, they don't do that. But they're just so measured. If anything, you err on the side of not enough information, not speculating. I've even gone over to the BBC to see how they covered it, because it's another country and how they view it. It's very interesting.
And I know how this conversation usually goes. It's, well, I remember when journalists were good and they cared about their jobs and getting it right. I wish it was like that. And I hate that, because there are tons of really great journalists out there. And there are tons of Cronkite, of people who see news and see journalism the way Cronkite saw it today, working today, who see it the same way. And I think we are now in a time where for the last 20 years, we've been told by people who don't like the press as it is, that it's biased. It's biased against us. And now it's, well, the press is the enemy. Journalists are the enemy. We are living in a time where that was never really happening before. And it happens routinely now. Anytime there is a journalist who uncovers a story of somebody in a position of power who has done something wrong, the default position by the person who has been caught is to blame the media for them being caught. It's, oh, look at this fake news. Look what they're saying about me. That's the default position, and a lot of people buy that.
Well, and yes, I know we've had this talk, and I will say, I understand why there is frustration in some cases. The old phrase, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. As news has expanded, and I mean, the gatekeeping was pretty selective when you had CBS, ABC, NBC, and that was it. It was pretty selective. And then you have all the cable news networks, right? And then you also have social media, where maybe there are some reporters who give opinions on social media that they wouldn't give in the newspaper or on the news, but you can see how it's confusing because it looks like they're biased. I will say that the changing nature of media has made it harder to sift through the news. And I want to say, because I would be not truthful if I said that I don't get frustrated with how certain outlets cover certain topics. For instance, specifically what was going on with the Middle East. The BBC had to issue 220 retractions. I think the New York Times, especially when they on the front page had that picture of the emaciated child who had a different condition and blamed Israel for starving the child when actually that child was brought to Israel for treatment. I mean, to me, that's criminal negligence on the part of that outlet. And so I can say, and I understand that there are certain issues where I do think certain outlets are very wrong, but then there's so much good done by so many journalists and reporters.
More good. Because that's the thing, is that the examples you're talking about, it's you see one of those and then people say, well, that's the entire apparatus. That's all of them. They're all lying to you. They're all getting it wrong. And it just isn't true.
And you can acknowledge, right? Like I said, I have no problem acknowledging that is a huge issue. I get very frustrated, but then there's so much good. Also, a lot of times reporters don't write the headlines. So if a
That's right.
headline
Yeah.
is
You got to read past the
deceiving-
headline.
Yeah, I get frustrated with headline writers.
And that's on us. That's people. That's the fault of people for not reading past the headline too. So we're all complicit in it. Chris and Amy on KMOX. We're going to talk to Jacob Sersosimo at 10:30. Talk a little sports. And Braden Shen had an interesting comment. He returns to play the Blues after the trade. Going to read that comment to you when we come back on KMOX.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
If you need a new appliance, this is your sign. Shop at Lowe's now to get up to 35% off and next-day delivery on hundreds of major appliances. A new appliance now means an easier-to-do list later. Our best lineup is at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Order by 4 p.m. Available Monday through Saturday. Subject to availability. Fees, exclusions, and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/appliance delivery for more details.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler, and there's a lot of college basketball going on right now with the FanDuel Sportsbook, which is the official sportsbook of KMOX. You can make all of that madness even more fun for yourself because FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost every single day through March 15th. So from now until that final 68 is revealed, you're getting daily profit boosts for a chance at boosted winnings on your college basketball bets. And you don't want to miss this because it's every single day. You can build same-game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout, try live betting and jump in after the opening tip. And best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. It's that simple. So to get started, just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri and get it rolling and get yourself into the fun before things get really going here in a couple of weeks. Remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens, and restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. You can see terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
100 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors. A century of trust in St. Louis. Always look for the iconic red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis for same-day repair service and no extra charge for evening or Saturday service. Trust your friends at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. We're going to talk a little sports with Jacob Sersosimo coming up here, but how about a little sports thing now?
Sure.
Amy Mark scores. Because Braden Shen was traded by the Blues Friday, and he's already coming back to play against the Blues.
Right.
Who will have a game against the Islanders tonight. And here is a quote today from Braden Shen. And this is from JR, who posted this about 10 minutes ago.
I think it
was 15 minutes
from his story yesterday.
Okay.
Yep.
And he says, in regard to Shen, this is his response to the Blues making the deal. Quote, well, when they ask you 2 times 2 years in a row, that's when it makes sense. At some point, the organization doesn't see you as part of the picture and other teams want you, and it's good to be wanted. They're going in a different direction, and that's the reality of it. So that is him talking about the Blues, asking him to waive his no trade clause, and he finally did.
Yes, because last year the Blues asked him to waive his no trade clause, and he said no. He wanted to stay in St. Louis, and that's very well known that Shen loves it here. You know, he's growing his family, has some little kids. I think just had a daughter, and so as well. So, you know, he's got his family here. He loves the city of St. Louis. So he did not waive his no trade clause last year. And this year, when he was traded to the Islanders, he did waive his no trade clause. And it's such a good point. Yeah. I mean, if your team asks you 2 years in a row, and you're the captain, ask you 2 years in a row, can you please waive your no trade clause? We would really like to trade you. You don't feel wanted. And he said that with the Islanders is, you know, I'm excited to go there because it's good to feel wanted. That is such a valid thing. Imagine if my boss, Steve, you guys know Steve, we talk about him. Yeah. He's like, asked me last year, Amy, will you please leave? And I said, no. And then he asks me again, will you please leave? We want to get someone else. At some point, you're going to feel like, you know, I understand. And it's not that they don't like him personally. It's not that, because obviously they like him personally. He's the captain. He is a true Blue. He gets that blue collar lunch pail attitude that Blues fans love and demand from their players. You don't have to be sexy. You don't have to score 100 points, but you got to give effort. And Braden Shen does that. Braden Shen is always the first to drop the gloves. He did that after Bobby Plager died. He did it on Hockey Fights Cancer Night. So he gets it. It's just that as the team is moving younger and is rebuilding, retooling, whatever you want to call it, they need to move in a different direction. But I hope the Islanders go on a playoff run, and I wish the best for Braden Shen because he is an ultimate hockey player.
Yeah, and it sucks when you don't feel wanted by the team who brought you in, that you've grown up with, that you've been here with for so long. And yeah, again, it's nice to go to a team that actually might have a chance at doing a little winning in the playoffs. And now here you are facing the team that just let you go. There's probably a little animosity there too. I don't know if it's a lot, but it's probably at least something. I don't know if animosity feels like a strong word, but I think it's an acceptance of the organization doesn't see you in their future. And at some point, if you're, like he said, if you're not wanted there, then it makes it easier to move on. And even then, as Jeremy Rutherford pointed out in his piece in The Athletic, there is a chance that if the kismet of the New York Islanders being at the same hotel as the St. Louis Blues in San Jose, if that doesn't happen, maybe the trade doesn't happen, because again, having a face-to-face on the day of the trade deadline, like 10:30 in the morning, and the trade deadline is just hours away, having a face-to-face with Patrick Waugh, your new coach, yes, that Patrick Waugh, the Hall of Fame goaltender, and say, we want you. You are going to make a difference in this organization, and the New York Islanders want to make a push for the playoffs.
to me, that could be the game changer. And that helped Braden Shen, I think, in his decision. I shouldn't ascribe motivations, but it couldn't have hurt Braden Shen's decision to move to the Islanders, to waive his no trade clause, when you get to talk to those guys face to face. And also, by the way, that never happens. It is so rare for two teams to be at the same hotel with a back-to-back. And the fact that it happened on trade deadline day is very, very unusual.
And you probably have felt, well, I mean, this team's not really going anywhere right now, so might as well take my chances somewhere else. Islanders are in third place in the Metropolitan right now, behind Carolina and Pittsburgh. They've got 77 points on the season. The Blues, I'm not going to tell you. It's not great. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Jacob Sersosimo with KMOV and Matrix Midwest. They'll talk a little sports with us when we come back on the Chris and Amy Show.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100. 800-885-3100.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It's warming up out there. Still very sunny. 73 degrees, real field temperature. 79. The high today of 82. That's near the record set back in 1955. The record then was 86. Tonight, overcast and breezy. There could be some late night thunderstorms. Those could be severe. Could be flooding downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, or an isolated tornado. So be on the lookout for that. A low tonight of 61.
Brought to you by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com. Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. Before you packed your child off to college, did you get a power of attorney for them? Eamon Gantner and Capriano, YourEstateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
If snow and cold has you thinking spring, why don't you do something constructive and call Chesterfield Fence and Deck? Let this be the year that you have that beautiful outdoor space that you've always wanted. Whether you're talking about a new deck, a patio, a pergola, they do all of it. And of course, fences as well, sunrooms, screen rooms. You can visit their beautiful showroom in the Chesterfield Valley. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best since 1968. All of their products are guaranteed by a 5-year labor warranty, comprehensive material warranties provided. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Now, if you're looking for the rock bottom cheapest price, Chesterfield Fence and Deck is not it. What they are is the company that guarantees their work and has been doing great work for 57 years. Quality work that will last for a long, long time. So you can enjoy your outdoor space for years to come. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. ChesterfieldFence.com.
It's Cardinals preseason exhibition play today as they face the Mets. Pregame 12 noon, first pitch 12:10. And you can hear the game streaming on Cardinals.com.
Blues and Islanders will play tonight, and they're doing so against their former teammate. That's right. The St. Louis Blues welcome in the New York Islanders and Braden Shen, who they just traded on Friday. So he's back with the team. And now Jacob Sersosimo is a sports reporter for KMOV and Matrix Midwest, and he joins us now on 104.1 FM. How's it going, Jacob?
Hey, guys, I'm good. How are you?
We're doing okay. We just read the quote from Braden Shen about being dealt and how the Blues have approached him a couple of years in a row. And he said, well, basically, I guess I'm going to go somewhere where they want me. When you see the trade deadline, how it went down, let's talk about that first. How do you think the Blues ended up doing here?
I mean, they got their guys for the future. Having 3 first-round picks later on this year, I think, is very important for this team because of the direction they're going. I did this on TV the other night. I looked up their past first-round picks and what they're doing for the team right now. And when you look at their past first-round picks of the last, what was Robert Thomas, 18 or something, so the past 8-9 years or something, it's like Robert Thomas, Jake Neighbors, the guys that are on the team right now, Dalibor Dvorsky, Jimmy Snuggerud, and those are like the talent. That's the talent they're going for with the guys that they just got for building for the future. So I think they're doing exactly what they want to do. I keep coming back to a quote that Doug Armstrong kept saying last year. That was, we have a plan and it's up to this team to disrupt that plan. And I think that's what they did when they made the playoffs last year. It made Doug Armstrong give them another opportunity this year and say, okay, you did that last year. Can we fast forward this? If you guys can make the playoffs and pretty much almost make the second round, be 1.6 seconds away from making the second round, can you do that again this year? And then this year came and he goes back to the plan because of how bad they were throughout the first half or 3/4 of the year. So I think this was inevitable. This is what I think a lot of people thought they might do last year. But the team pushed it off until this year. And I thought it might be a little bit more loud for the Blues, but I understand what Army said when he said, if we have guys that have some term left on their contract, and if we're not getting what we want from them, we're happy to keep them. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. And then also there are names that could be traded in the off season as well. Obviously, you want the leverage that a trade deadline can give you, but in the off season, you've seen names floated out there like Jordan Binnington, right? And as they continue to move to the next generation of young Blues players, Joel Hofer has proven himself so far to be more than capable to be that starting goalie. Selfishly, I would hate to lose Jordan Binnington. It's so difficult. Let me rephrase it. The Blues kind of have, for as bad as a season as it's been, and I know Binnington did not have a good season, but they have an embarrassment of riches in between the pipes, which pretty much no other team can say that. Like, there are really strong teams. Look at the Edmonton Oilers, for crying out loud. They are begging for a goaltender that they can rely on. And the Blues really do have an embarrassment of riches there.
Yeah, they do. And Jim Montgomery says it every week, and I don't know if it's protecting his goalie a little bit, but I think there is some truth to it. He goes, we somehow play the worst defensively every single time Binnington's in the net. And I don't know if that's because the team just trusts Binnington so much that they're like, we can kind of leave him out on an island a couple times and he'll save us. And it just hasn't been the case this year. But you're right. And I think when you look at a Binnington trade, Doug Armstrong's been clear that he's not like trading guys away for cheaper than what he believes they can go for because of the assets that he wants back in those trades. But also, I think it goes back to what happened right before the season this year with Colton Ellis getting picked up by Buffalo. And if Joel Hofer is your number one, who's your number two? You're going to have to go down to Springfield, but that's not Colton Ellis who you had last year. And I think they really liked Colton Ellis and did not expect him to get picked up. When I believe they put him on waivers and then he got grabbed by Buffalo. But you have to look at who's your tandem then. So if you're getting rid of Binnington or you're getting rid of somebody else in the offseason gives you a little chance to go out and get another goalie if you get rid of Binnington, where at the trade deadline, you're kind of scrambling and figuring out, okay, we're just going to throw Hofer out there every single night and just really hope we don't have to use our backup. So I think that's kind of the tough spot he was in with Doug Armstrong. But yeah, if you're that good at goalie, ride them out and you're in no hurry to trade Jordan Binnington if that's the direction you want to go.
We are just over a couple of weeks away from the beginning of the regular season on the 26th. So it'll be 2 weeks from Thursday. The Cardinals will open up their season against Tampa Bay. And as spring training has gone on here and Grapefruit League is ongoing, is there anything about this Cardinals camp? And again, we're getting very, very close to real baseball actually happening. Any developments from spring training this year that really are, striking to you?
I think it's just the confidence that the team has in JJ Weatherholt. And I think a lot of guys or a lot of people figured he would make a really strong push to make the big league roster come out day one. And when I was down there in Jupiter a few weeks ago, it kind of just seemed like, he's going to do it unless he does something that isn't, unless he does something drastic that makes us think he's not ready for the big leagues. But when they throw out the infield in the first week of full squad workouts and JJ Weatherholt's alone at second base, and then when they're batting and taking batting practice, and he's taking batting practice with Burleson and Mason Wynn and those guys, I think it makes it clear the direction they want to go with JJ Weatherholt and the belief that they have that he can start second base the first day of the season. And I think it's what a lot of fans wanted, and it's what a lot of fans are finally getting is their big time prospect being there. I think another development that's been interesting to watch is their pitching and what they're going to do with their pitching. One thing that really struck me when I was down there in Jupiter was just the confidence and the drive of Matthew Liberatore this spring training. And it impressed Ollie Marmol when I was down there as well. And just like, he just seems ready for the moment. You see, like in guys' progression when in the big leagues where they just get more confident each year. And at some point you're like, they're ready for that moment. He seems ready for that moment to be the ace for this team. And I think most signs are pointing towards him being the starter on opening day.
What do you think of the rotation in general? Because there's a lot of discussion about them, at least sometimes going with a 6-man rotation instead of the traditional 5. And they really like the way the newcomer Richard Fitz, who was acquired via trade, the way he has been pitching. So, and again, they're not going to do a 6-man rotation all year, but it looks like they might do it at least sometimes and to start the season.
I say go for it. I don't really see what it hurts this team, because it's not like last year, the year before, where you're taking the ball out of guys' hands that are like Sonny Gray or Kyle Gibson or these big time vets on the team that, can really go on their routine and their every 5-day routine. If you're the team right now, your rotation is very young. You have maybe Dustin May's in there. It's Libby, Dustin May. You look at Michael McGreevy, Andre Palante, Kyle Leahy, Richard Fitz is in there. Dobbins, if he gets healthy at some point. Like, these are the guys that you're looking at for your starting rotation, and they're all really young. And if you want to play with it a little bit, play with it a little bit. There's teams that probably wish sometimes they're in a position like this where they can play with their starting rotation a little bit, give guys a couple days off here, make sure they're healthy. And some of these guys haven't pitched a full season. You're looking at McGreevy or Kyle Leahy, a full season as a starting pitcher. So if you want to give them an extra day's rest, why not? These guys are young and they're learning how to be starting pitchers in the big leagues. So I don't have a problem with them going 6 at all.
So while spring training is going on, I've always thought it's awkward that the World Baseball Classic happens now, though if they're going to do it, there really isn't another time. I mean, this is it. You're not going to do it at the end of the season. You're not going to break in the middle of the season. So I guess do it during spring training. What are your thoughts on the Classic, first of all? And then I'm going to ask you about the Randy Arozarena, Cal Riley situation that happened. Yeah, that's an interesting thing that went down yesterday.
I was either listening to the Gas House Gang or I was listening to Sports Open Line the other day, and I believe it was Matt Pauley. No, I apologize to anybody else at KMOX that could have said this, but I believe it was Matt Pauley that said the spring training time is the least worst option to put the World Baseball Classic on. He's like, there's not really like a great time of year. And to be fair, when you think about it, you think of like how disruptive the soccer season is. and they just take like month and a half breaks because of there's an international break or there's something else, and it like ruins the flow of the season a little bit. And fans can be frustrated because they're watching City on like July 1st and they're not going to get them again for another like month and a half or a couple months. So I think, yes, I believe now is probably the best time to do it because there's not a great time to do it. You're not going to do it after the season because everyone's, exhausted and ready for a break after 162 plus games. But I think the spring is probably your best time to do it. It is just interesting how you're going to get only so much out of some guys. Like look at Tarek Skubal, who has to go back to the Detroit Tigers because he's gearing up for a season where he could get paid quite a bit after this year. And so you're kind of stuck in a tough situation, not necessarily with position players, because I think those guys can get ready a little quicker, but like ramping up pitchers and kind of going through some bullpen games you might have to. But yeah, you're right. It's an interesting time, but I love the World Baseball Classic. And unfortunately, I just don't think there's another time to do it.
Well, people love rivalries and people like it when there appears to be disdain. But what happened yesterday when Mexico played the United States and Randy Arozarena, former Cardinal, is going up to the plate for the first time. And when hitters do that, they usually acknowledge the umpire and they acknowledge the catcher. It's just baseball tradition. It's what they always do. Well, Cal Raleigh is the catcher for Team USA, Arozarena playing for Mexico. And he, Arozarena goes to shake hands with Raleigh, who also happens to be his teammate in regular baseball during the regular season, and Cal refused to do it. And then after the fact, Arozarena, he had some pointed words for his teammate, and basically told him to stick it. So
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a situation.
Are they contentious with one another on their?
Not that I'm aware of.
Major League Baseball team.
I am unsure of the Seattle Mariners clubhouse situation.
Okay, well, you don't have to say it like that, Jacob.
Yeah.
Well,
Put her in her place. Get her, Jacob.
I don't necessarily have the insight of that, but what I will say is I love it, and I think we're in a day and age of sports where like some people get frustrated at the NBA sometimes because of how friendly they are, and they're like, no. I want my team to win, and I want them to do anything at all costs to win. But all my guys are just sitting over here shaking hands with everybody else and like dapping them up during the game, and it's frustrating. Like, are we just all friends out here? Is there any competitive nature left in this? And then you go to a World Baseball Classic where they're not even playing for the team that pays them. The team that pays them, they're teammates, and then they seemingly hate each other. I think it's great, and I think honestly, what happened with Four Nations last year and the Olympics this year in hockey kind of sets the stage for that, because these are guys who want to go win a Stanley Cup together with the Florida Panthers, and they get in the Four Nations and they get in the Olympics this year, and Team USA and Team Canada are doing anything they possibly can against the guys that they're teammates with throughout the rest of the year to beat them on the other side and talking trash and fighting and doing all of that. I love it. It's not the first time in the World Baseball Classic. I believe like earlier this week, someone went to shake hands with like the Israel catcher or something. I cannot remember what team it was. And he literally looked at him and goes, "Yeah, I don't shake hands."
Like, well, Will Smith did it before.
Yeah.
With Arozarena. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's setting the tone. It's setting the tone for what's going to be a good rest of the World Baseball Classic. But I'm sure they'll be just fine when they get back to Seattle. I'm sure he'll take them out to dinner and they'll get along just fine.
Yeah, I don't know, man. After what Arozarena said, and this was interpreted, this is what he said in Spanish about Cal Raleigh. He said the only thing he should be thankful for is having such great parents. He's very well educated, thank God. I was lucky enough to see them a few days ago at the hotel. They came over to greet me, gave me a big hug, and were genuinely proud to see me again. After that, I want to give it to him straight Cuban style. What he has to do is blank off, go to hell.
I think Randy Arozarena will get over it when he has an MVP type season for the Mariners, and he's a big reason why they're going to make a big push in the postseason once again. Well,
Jacob, if you could do what you can to have a better read on the Seattle Mariners clubhouse, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I apologize with that. I gotta get out more. I'll see what I can do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're doing just fine. Jacob, thank you once again. Good to talk to you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Sports reporter for KMOV and Matrix Midwest, Jacob Sersosimo, with us on KMOX. Also, he said, Arozarena in English said, quote, "That fake ass good to see you he hit me with, he can shove it straight up his blank. I'm out." That's all. Tell him, Randy.
I honestly wish we had the audio of that. I feel like that could be a great little
Kind of
clip.
wish we had Randy Arozarena still. Actually,
Well, a lot of people feel that way.
I know. All right, that's Amy Mark Scores.
All
I'm
right.
Chris Ranji. Did you see this? Is coming up next.
Okay, on Saturday, I went to the Only Facial and I got a facial. And it was I think it was my second facial as an adult. It's been years and years. And the thing is, I know it's good for me. I want to take care of my skin. But if, the whole idea of going to a facial, it can feel like a luxury. There's so many different treatments. I don't know which one to pick. And I felt intimidated. And here's the thing, the Only Facial, they make the whole process not only easy and relaxing, but so approachable. It's like, yes, this is exactly what I need for self-care. Okay, so here's the deal. You don't have to go in and know, okay, can I get this treatment or that treatment? What should I do? They have one facial and they go through the same steps every time. And that way, each time you go, you can see the results. They cleanse your skin. They take care of your brows. Dermaplaning. I had never had that done where it's like a gentle blade can remove dead skin cells so your skin looks rejuvenated. Microdermabrasion, they did that as well. They also do a chemical enzyme peel and exfoliation so that you're able to stimulate collagen to get rid of the dead, dull skin on your face and really start getting that youthful glow again, plus a massage on your face, which felt so good. And they have LED light therapy, extractions. They have microcurrent high frequency treatment. So they go through all of these steps. You don't have to pick and choose. They take care of it for you. And when you're done, you leave glowing. I actually had a party right afterwards. There was no downtime. I just threw on some mascara and that was it because my face was glowing. Here's the thing. They've got a bunch of locations: University City, Des Peres, Clayton, Sunset Hills, Frontenac, Creve Coeur, the streets of St. Charles. And again, the facial is $125 flat. No gratuity, no stress. Visit them, theonlyfacial.com.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first served. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate this hometown holiday with Dirt Cheap and Budweiser. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/radio.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Universal Windows Direct. March is that time of year when a lot of us start thinking about fresh start, spring cleaning, that kind of stuff. If you are in the market for replacement windows, here's the deal from Universal. When you buy 2 windows, you get 2 for free with no limit, 24 months with no payments and no interest, giving you 2 full years to enjoy the comfort before paying a dime. $500 bonus off your home improvement project, $300 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Tax season is here, and Missouri families are already seeing the real impact of the Working Families Tax Cut Act. House Republicans are delivering real results for hardworking Missourians. According to the Council of Economic Advisors, the bill is projected to raise wages in Missouri by about $3,000 to $6,000 over the next 4 years. That's more money for groceries, gas, and greater security for your family's future. In Congress, I'm working to protect working families, strengthen our economy, and ensure you are keeping more of your hard-earned money.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hey guys, Kevin Wheeler here. FanDuel Sportsbook is my sportsbook. It's also the official sportsbook of KMOX. And right now, new FanDuel customers can get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days if your bet loses. So here's how it works. Pretty simple. Place a tournament bet using the token, and if it doesn't win, you'll get up to $300 back in bonus bets. That's every single day for 10 straight days. So 10 chances to play along during the tournament, from game props and money lines to spreads, totals, you name it, it's there. And you can even mix things up with same game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. So however you want to fill out your bracket, FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the action day after day. So just visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get signed up. FanDuel, it's time to dance. Remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Must apply select token each day. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable, and they expire 7 days after receipt. Tokens are received in increments of 1 per day. Restrictions apply. You can see terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Well, Mattress Direct is in trouble. The Better Business Bureau is warning customers of Mattress Direct because of several, quote, unanswered and unresolved complaints. So the BBB has given an F to Mattress Direct based on several complaints and poor customer reviews. Here's one. A complaint mentioned stemmed from a man who bought a mattress for $2,200. He never received the mattress, and after delayed deliveries, he was promised he would receive a refund. And apparently, according to the BBB, 9 months later, he still hasn't gotten the refund. $2,200. Another woman in September of 2025 paid $4,800 for a mattress and bed frame, and she never received her items.
Uh-oh.
$4,800?
Guess you could just go into Mattress Direct, right?
Mattress Direct.
And just go sleep there.
Sleep at the store?
Yeah.
I kind of think with all the mattress stores, don't you think it's a front for something? It's
No.
a little suspicious how many mattress stores there are. There's Mattress Directs across from each other.
I think you're overestimating how many there are.
I don't think so.
Yesterday,
We'll get our
Amy-
research team on it.
Yeah, the research team, get on that. Yesterday, I brought you the story about Donna Kelsey, who is
Yeah.
Travis and Jason Kelsey's mom, and TMZ, which had put out a story that TMZ has learned, and the way they framed it, like it was this huge breaking news. And this is from last week. The story is that TMZ has learned that Donna Kelsey is remodeling her home.
Yeah. Breaking news.
So I brought this story to you yesterday, and it has just taken on a life of its own where people are really having a good time with this, because clearly that is not a big story. It's not a big deal. But the way TMZ framed it,
Yeah.
like they have found out this massive conspiracy and they are telling you about it. Well, people have been, as you would imagine, on the internet making fun of it. And one of my favorite ones so far is a photo of Andrew Card, the former chief of staff, whispering in George Bush's ear on the morning of 9/11. And it says, oh my gosh, it's one of my favorites. It says, Donna Kelsey has decided on triple French doors to the master bedroom. Jason Kelsey even got in on it.
Yeah.
And he says, TMZ has learned, or sources confirmed, Donna Kelsey's eldest son has watched 2 hours of Bluey yesterday.
It's
I
don't know who made that editorial decision for TMZ.
I don't either, because it is just
Like, I wouldn't
a
care
wild
if
way to
Taylor
frame it.
Swift had a renovation
By the way, only 20 Mattress Direct locations.
Where?
because they closed a bunch.
In Missouri.
Because they closed
In
a bunch.
all of Missouri, so that includes Kansas City.
Yeah.
That's Mattress Direct.
Yeah.
And then there's Mattress Firm. And then there's All About Them Mattresses.
Okay. I don't think that's a real thing.
Mattress Bob. He sells them.
Guess who's coming in studio?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Alex Rich.
Alex Rich, co-host of the Jews in the Lou podcast and 314 Day, the 20th 314 Day we're celebrating is this Saturday coming up. And Alex has some stuff he wants to tell us about. He joins us in studio next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for Burn Balance Complex, which is the latest tool you can find at supplement superstores. It is top of the line. This is a complete metabolism system, not just a fat burner. So you get the metabolism boost, all day focused energy with no jitters or crash. You get help with appetite control and cravings, and it'll reduce stress by lowering cortisol levels. It is a fantastic tool, especially for those who don't want prescriptions or injections. So get out to supplement superstores, tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex, and you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
A very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at biobalancehealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. Biobalancehealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Are you struggling with hearing loss? Do friends and family complain that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to repeat themselves? If you want to hear clearly again, but don't want a bulky hearing aid that makes you look old, you need to try Atom X by Audion Hearing. The Atom X is a life-changing breakthrough, precisely designed by top audio engineers, fits comfortably in your ear, is nearly invisible, and lets you adjust your sound so you can hear conversations clearly, at home, at dinner, or on the go. And right now, you can try the Atom X risk-free for 45 days. Call Audion Hearing now at 800-295-HEAR. That's HEAR for a 45-day risk-free home trial with free shipping and money-back guarantee. The Atom X is lightweight, rechargeable, practically invisible, and costs 90% less than prescription hearing aids. Don't miss out. Call 800-295-HEAR for complete details. That's 800-295-4327. Hearing for everyone. Audion Hearing.
Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate. Evans is a proven fighter and the only candidate for U.S. Senate with guts and know-how to get the job done. As an attorney, she took on China and corporate criminals. Jeannie Evans won billions for working families. As senator, Evans will fight and win for you. She'll work to cut taxes and lower the cost of living. Evans believes that keeping Illinois safe will take more than just wishful thinking. It takes courage, and Jeannie Evans has the record to prove it. Evans will always be tough on crime. She'll hold China accountable for trafficking fentanyl and stealing our personal data. Jeannie Evans puts America first. A proven fighter. Conservative outsider Jeannie Evans for U.S. Senate.
I'm Jeannie Evans, Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Jeannie for Illinois.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11 o'clock, sunshine, 74 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Iran threatening to give as good as it gets from the U.S. and Israel.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Iran's parliament speaker has vowed an eye for an eye, saying Tehran will respond in kind to U.S. and Israeli attacks on its infrastructure. This as Iran's military continues to fire drones and missiles at targets in Israel and Arab and Gulf states. And one top Iranian security official appeared to threaten Trump himself, writing on X that, quote, even those bigger than you couldn't eliminate Iran. Be careful not to get eliminated yourself.
Granite City is holding open discussions about data center regulations. Tonight is a data center coming.
Mayor Mike Parkinson says there are no plans to bring a data center to Granite City at this time, which is why he says now is the time to establish new zoning and regulations.
One of the things that we're trying to put in place before an offer does come, because clearly once somebody purchases land and it's zoned correctly, you're limited in what you can do after that.
Asked about data centers being a contentious topic in cities across the region and country, Parkinson says leaders and skeptics both need to do a better job at listening to one another.
That is the problem, right? Is that you know, the public needs to be heard, but so does the other side that has to look at this as well.
The meeting will be held at the Mill Event Center tonight at 5. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The former U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. is facing ethics charges. Ed Martin, formerly a St. Louis lawyer and political operative, is accused by the D.C. bar of violating the First and Fifth Amendments of the Constitution by making demands of Georgetown University Law School and threatening them. Martin sent a letter to Georgetown last February saying that a whistleblower claimed the school was teaching diversity, equity, and inclusion. Before waiting for the school's response, he told them they were being sanctioned, and he was instructing staff not to hire any Georgetown students as fellows, interns, or employees. The Justice Department's response is that the D.C. bar is a partisan organization. Missouri's long-running debate over the death penalty returned to the Capitol today as St. Louis Representative Jim Murphy pushed once again to abolish it, saying one myth is executions save the state money.
Fact of the matter is, anybody that's put on a track to the death penalty costs the state as much as $4 million more than somebody that's incarcerated for the rest of their lives.
With no testimony in opposition, a companion bill sponsored by Arnold Republican Senator Mary Elizabeth Coleman is also advancing to the Missouri Senate. From the KMOX business desk, 314 Day is officially Saturday, but celebrating St. Louis kicked off yesterday and runs all week.
It's been great to see how the entire region has really come to support 314 Day and get that spirit of pride and unity that we're trying to build across the region for all of the great things that we have here in St. Louis.
Tony Weish with Greater St. Louis Inc. says there are trivia nights, 314 Day parties, concerts, not to mention dozens of businesses across the region offering 314 specials and discounts. To get the full rundown, go to thestl.com/314day.
Sunshine mixing with clouds, breezy and quite warm this afternoon, high 84. Mostly cloudy, breezy and warm tonight, with a couple of severe thunderstorms moving through, especially after midnight. They can produce flooding downpours, hail, and damaging winds, even an isolated tornado. Tonight's low near 60. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's sunny and 74 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Brought to you by USPS Ground Advantage.
Business moves fast. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Amy doesn't know anything about Wu-Tang. She doesn't.
I,
She's acting like she does.
I wish I knew more.
Oh my God, Alex!
Yeah, I know.
This guy's young.
I know.
He's a
You're
young
not that
gun.
young.
He's
I'm
20.
like 34.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty young.
That's pre-Wu-Tang, right? Or that's post-Wu-Tang.
It's post-Wu.
Yeah.
We've got Alex Rich with us. He is one of the hosts of Jews in the Lou podcast. Odyssey team member here.
Mhm.
Can we just call you Odyssey team member?
Yeah, I kind of do a variety of different things.
Yeah,
really.
you're out in the.
I just say he's Alex Rich. He knows everybody.
Yeah.
I've never met someone who doesn't know you.
I actually went to breakfast this morning at First Watch. Out in Creve Coeur, I saw 4 people I knew when I walked in. 4 different groups. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Meeting somebody."
Yeah, First Watch.
Yeah. One guy actually. It's funny. You gave me the Jews in the Lou intro.
Yeah.
I did get recognized this morning at the First Watch. One of the guys was just a viewer of Jews in the Lou. He's like, "Hey, you're the Jew in the Lou." Which if you like I have to imagine what somebody like that listening, what that sounds like. You're like, "Yeah, you're the Jew in the Lou." Like you don't really just say that to somebody, unless have some context to it.
Well,
but.
you could say on your videos, because you are the Jews in the Lou,
Mhm.
and he's, I don't know if he's Jewish, but he could be Jews in the views.
Oh,
okay.
They're watching.
So
they are watching.
Alex, you may have seen.
But it is a great. It's a great thing that you do.
Alex performs around town, and this weekend on Saturday, it is 314 Day as we celebrate St. Louis, and it'll be the 20th year that we are doing 314 Day, Alex, and there's a lot happening.
It's a lot happening. Are you guys big into the 314 Day scene?
You know what 314 Day is, don't you?
Well, it's
it's Pi Day.
And
Pi Day, and 314 Day for St. Louis.
Christopher Ranji's birthday.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
I knew
birthday.
you're right. Because Ranji actually can't attend the event because he's going to Chicago for the birthday.
Yeah, he
I've-
didn't. He has to celebrate with his wife and kids.
That's fair.
In Chicago.
That's fair.
I have a secret family.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody knows.
I've known about it for
Yeah.
longer than probably most. Yeah.
He probably knew them before you did. Alex knows everybody. I'm not
I
kidding.
do. They asked me about it when I visit Chicago too. They're like,
Yeah.
Ranji, the second family guy.
Yeah.
So Saturday's 314 day. And, it's something that I think has gotten a lot more traction over the past few years because people are becoming, look, we have pride in our city. We like to support what our city does. And obviously 314 is the area code here. And we like to look for any excuse really that we can to celebrate St. Louis. But it falling on a Saturday this year is obviously a big deal. And so there's so many different events throughout the day. 314 Day is actually there's a 314 Day Foundation, which kind of puts together scholarships for allowing kids to do different things in the city, whether it's going to camps or whatever that may be. But our friend Shorty and Shorty was over on 104, the old 104.1 for a while. People may know Shorty from also being out in the public, but Shorty and I have partnered up and we are going to do a big 314 Day takeover at Ballpark Village this Saturday. So yeah. And the idea is kind of to bring all of St. Louis together. So, Shorty and I are differences. The main difference is that Shorty's part of the Black community. I'm part of the white community here in St. Louis. So our idea coming together really is like, let's bring everybody together for this, because I think there's a lack of a lot of those type of events that happen around town, honestly, a lot of the time. And so Shorty and I just kind of said, hey, this is going to be awesome. We're going to do it. We partnered with Ballpark Village, our friends actually at Together Credit Union, obviously, hence 314 Together. They've stepped up and partnered with us on this. And so the party's kicking off Saturday at 3:14 in the afternoon.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
See, and that's I like that you're doing this because I think we don't celebrate our wins enough. We don't celebrate the city enough. And there is a lot of pride in the city, but we don't demonstrate it. And we should do a better job of demonstrating it. And I know it's different than this, but like everybody knows about Big Slick in Kansas City. I mean, that's such a huge, it's just a couple of days of events, right? And all their celebrities come back and participate in all these events. And it would be something if we could get to that point where we are celebrating the city and celebrating, just being St. Louisans. We just don't do it enough.
Right. And I think that's what's cool about the growth of this recently is there are different events this entire week actually leading up to Saturday, to the actual 314 Day. But there's different things that you could do all throughout the week, whether it's going to like different art exhibits that are about St. Louis, or different restaurants throughout the week are offering like different deals, like $3.14, like toasted raviolis, right? Like, I think that it's cool that all of the companies, more this year than there have started to get behind this. So it is kind of a week-long thing. But yeah, like, looking for things that aren't Cardinal games or aren't Blues games or sporting, but like things that
it's all we do, really. It's just if it's not a Cardinals or a Blues game, it's not happening.
Then it's not happening. And I think that that's what's cool about, look, obviously this is St. Patty's weekend as well, but like not everybody also celebrates St. Patty's. I like to have a good time on St. Patty's, and I hope that this makes it even bigger deal this weekend as far as people being out and about and the weather's nice. But again, yeah, it's like rock your favorite St. Louis stuff. Like there's a lot of local St. Louis clothes designers as well that like have so many different cool designs that you don't necessarily see all the time because, maybe it's not Cardinal theme or maybe it's not like sports themed where people are wearing them to sporting events, but it's like just cool streetwear that is symbolic of St. Louis and like who we are and what we represent. And they actually did like they did a big picture the other day underneath the arch, and a ton of people showed up. It was just like a huge melting pot of people that showed up and celebrated St. Louis to kick off the week. And I think that the goal here is just really understanding like we're all in it for like the same greater good. And I think we talk about it all the time. Like St. Louis is pretty much the biggest thing that gets in St. Louis's way.
Yeah, that's no joke.
And I think that this kind of shows that, you don't need anything. You don't necessarily like, this isn't anything that like the city is putting on. Like, this is just something that like people have come together and done, right? This isn't like something that the mayor, like, this isn't like politics. This is none of that stuff that like people always try to avoid, right? If you don't like politics, you're not going to be involved with it. This is just something like for everyone. Just come, have a good time, whether you drink, don't drink, party. There's something for everybody. So the event Saturday is going to be, we got an outside area that's going to be opened up, Ballpark Village, the Ava Garden. It's beautiful. They just
That's
got
new
this
this year, right?
Last year they opened it up, but it's cool because now they have kind of these walls that go up and down based on the temperature and the rain and all that.
wow,
So we're
okay.
hoping to have those open this weekend. So you could hang out outside. It's $10 cash to get in. We take card at the door, but $10. Part of that is a donation back to the 314 Day Foundation as well. But then there'll be inside, there'll be DJs in the Ava on the inside. And then it's all connected. If you've been over to Ballpark Village, it's all connected to Crown Hall and the Crown Room, which was the brew house for a long time. And that is a three-level building as well. So on the first floor of that, my band is going to be there performing. So we got some special guests that are going to hop up with us throughout the day. We're going to be playing until about 6 o'clock or so. And then some other live artist will take over. So we'll do some cool stuff there. But Shorty's going to hopefully come up with us, perform kind of an acoustic, not acoustic, but a full band Nelly type live band set where we could kind of celebrate St. Louis, all the songs that people in St. Louis know. We hope to have some other special guests throughout the day pop up there as well. And then on the 2 levels above that, there'll be another couple DJs throughout the day. And then the rooftop of the what is that? That's the Bud Deck up there.
Yep.
The Bud Deck will be open. And you'll just be able to hang out and enjoy. We got vendors there throughout the day. We got photo booth opportunities and awesome giveaways. Together Credit Union is giving away. We got some soccer tickets. We got Cardinal tickets. We got Blues tickets. We got different restaurant gift cards. We got swag bags. We got a lot of cool stuff. So, you know, hopefully if this is something that you're kind of, you know, you have Saturday to hang out, you're just looking for something to do. I think it's a day. Look, I understand parking is hard sometimes when you come downtown. We are hopefully making it accessible for most people where you're not going to have to fight, you know, the Cardinal traffic. So if that's your big thing, why you don't come downtown during Cardinal games or whatever, parking's tough. That is going to be, that's going to be easy with the parking lot there at Ballpark Village. And then obviously the garage is right around, just normal weekend rates, nothing crazy for any special event parking or anything like that. But we're excited. We're excited about it. You know, I think it'll be different than anything we've kind of done before. You know, it doesn't matter what your vibe is. If your vibe is DJ, if your vibe is live band, if your vibe is sitting on a patio having a beer or just hanging out, that's what we got. We're hoping to bring it, bring a good time for everybody.
And I think it's going to be gorgeous on Saturday.
It's going to be beautiful.
It's supposed to be beautiful. So what a perfect day. Like you said, inside, outside.
Inside,
take your
outside.
pick.
Take your pick. It's going to be awesome. I'm upset. Honestly, what we did was throw Ranji a massive birthday party that he was too cool to come to.
Nobody told me it was happening until it was too late.
Well,
it happened.
And I had made these plans already. You got to tell me ahead of time.
I know. Well, I think I had it planned out like a month in advance or something. I told you.
That's too.
That's too. Is he like a year out guy?
A month and a day.
He's a little flaky, though. You know what I mean?
Are you ever a last minute like plan guy?
Of course.
You're only last minute.
I feel like last summer you hit me a lot and you were like, "Hey man, like what do you got?" It was like day up.
Yeah.
Like, and then I kind of was thinking like, what's he?
There's no way he's got plans already.
Day of.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, he's only day of.
You know what I mean?
He makes plans day of and he cancels plans day of.
It's crazy.
That's
dude.
not true.
That's absolutely true.
Okay, that does happen true sometimes.
Hey, you said $10 cover to get in.
$10 cover to get in.
So just assume just 21 and up.
21 and up.
Yep.
Bring friends, bring family, whatever.
But don't bring the kids.
Don't bring the kids. Get a day to get rid of the kids. You know, kick them to the
Well, I mean,
curb
not
for a
get
day.
rid of them. Just
give them to somebody else.
Yeah, and then take them back later if you feel like it.
Yeah, or stay, till the party ends. Maybe grab yourself a hotel downtown, make a night of it, and
Oh yeah,
and then
That's
pick
not a
them up
bad
the
idea.
next day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The
That's
kids
a
are
great
fine.
idea.
The kids are absolutely
They'll be all
fine.
right.
They'll be fine.
Mhm.
You got to celebrate 314 Day.
How are you guys? Like your ideal St. Louis day? Do you have an ideal St. Louis day? I
Well,
think that's what
the
people
thing
should
is
do.
that usually it centers around a sporting event.
Right, but
It
if you're not including sports, how would you? Do you have a special day for yourself? Like for me, I'd probably get up, do a little breakfast at like a Companion bakery. I love Companion. I'd probably maybe if it's a day like this, maybe take a little nice walk around Forest Park.
Forest Park's great.
Love the zoo's included with that.
The zoo is free as hell. Do you know that?
Completely free.
Well, I mean, you got to buy stuff inside.
You got to
want.
buy stuff inside.
They're not just giving you a Starbucks.
Well,
but they do have a Starbucks. They won't give you straws because they don't want them to end up in the turtles' noses.
They don't. No. And then I'd probably finish the night at maybe, I love a Katie's Pizza dinner.
Oh my gosh, I love Katie's Pizza.
Love a Katie's Pizza. But guess what? You could do that when you come to our party and then leave because you got everything at Ballpark Village to,
Katie's is
to
right
go
there.
check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Katie's
it's going to
is
be
right
great, Ranj. I mean, I'm upset you're
I'll
missing.
tell you what, if something falls through, like my family, my secret family in Chicago says, you know what, we're not interested in having you this weekend, then I'll come.
Okay.
You will be my plans if something doesn't happen this weekend.
I'll take what I can get from you.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
honestly, it is what it is.
Is there a place people can go?
You know what? It is 314. I don't know if it's 314. I didn't come as prepared. 314day.org.
Okay. 314day.
314day.org. It has a list of honestly all the events throughout the week that you can go check out. And look, if it's not our event that you're coming to support something St. Louis this week because it's important that we champion ourselves, right?
I agree with you.
Let's get behind ourselves, show that we actually
Absolutely.
care so that I think, I'm not coming on here to promote, all sorts of crazy stuff, but I think any sort of change in the city, in this town, starts with the people in it. And so that's what we're hoping to do.
Saturday sounds like a great time.
Saturday, 3:14 p.m.
It starts at Ballpark Village.
We'll see you then.
All right, buddy. Alex Rich, thanks
Thank
for
you,
coming
guys.
in.
Thank you.
I want you to heal quickly.
Working on it, man.
He's scooting around.
How about the
He's
bell?
on a scooter and he's
I
got a
the
little bell.
Yeah, the bell will be there.
You gonna bring the bell?
I'm hopefully gonna be out of the boot or just take it easy, but I'll bring the bell for just
for kicks?
Just for kicks.
Alex Rich on KMOX.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Welcome back, Gloria. For years now, you've been on KMOX helping families plan their next big move with your Guaranteed Sold program. For those planning to sell their home this year, what's your best advice?
Thank you. My advice is simple. Do your homework before listing your home. Our market is stabilizing,
inventory is tightening and moving fast. In other words, the realtor you choose to sell your home really matters. That's why my sellers love my guaranteed sale program. I guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or I will buy it myself. I have thousands of buyers in my buyers in waiting database, so your home may already been sold before it's ever hit the market. Higher demand, more competition, and more money for your home.
Friends, if you want a realtor who will guarantee results, call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
Saving money is hard, but what's worse is when you save all year, hoping to use that money for a nice vacation, and then your AC unit dies and that money is gone. Now imagine yourself in retirement. You've saved a nice amount, hoping to use it for fun. But every time you take money out of your 401k, you get hammered in taxes. It's a sad fact, but your number one expense in retirement may not be cruises and trips. It could be taxes. At the All Financial Group, we believe in keeping more of your money where it belongs, with you. Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, March 10th and Thursday, March 12th. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. You must qualify to attend. Call today to reserve your spot, 636-230-8824, or go online to yourmoneymattersstl.com. And services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents nor representatives may give any tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Well, I guess, Ranj, this could be an example. The story I'm going to tell you, it was what I would call a real Hoosier moment, a bad Hoosier moment. You ever just hear a story and you think, our Hoosier moments are the equivalent of Florida Man, right?
Oh, you're not talking about Indiana winning the national championship.
No, that was a great Hoosier moment.
Yeah.
This is a bad Hoosier moment.
Oh, okay. So
Because
this is
only
somebody from Indiana.
Yeah, no, only in St. Louis, and you know this, Ranj. Only in St. Louis do we call, like, you know, I think it's between, like, it kind of means white trash, doesn't it? Hoosier?
Yeah.
It does. Because it can be they say, like, it could be a
We're
hick
a bit weird here.
or a country bumpkin, but it's kind of a mix of that and white trash. If you have a better definition for Hoosier, 314-436-7900. And of course, it's only here in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I know this was years ago. It might not be the same, but if you Googled Hoosier Mecca, Six Flags St. Louis came up.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that's still true, but it was a party trick. So here's the headline, because I had to click on the story from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. St. Peter's mom went looking for her daughters at a party. She ended up shooting the host.
Oh.
It escalated. So St. Peter's mom went to a party looking for her daughters, right? It was 3 a.m. Her daughters weren't home, and she's like, I need to find where my daughters are. So she went to a house where there was a party, and she suspected that they were there. Her name is Megan Cruz. When Cruz arrived at the house, the party had been broken up, and Cruz was approached by the party's host, a 19-year-old man. The host recognized Cruz as the mother of one of his friends and asked Cruz if he could sit in the passenger seat of her minivan. That part
okay.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
That doesn't really make sense. The man refused to tell Cruz where her daughters were. He then began insulting her, calling her a series of racial slurs, and Cruz, who is white, began hitting him. The two continued fighting outside of the vehicle, falling into the yard and punching one another. Then Cruz pulled out a gun and fired a shot.
Well,
she told police she meant to shoot over the man's head, but she had merely tripped and fired the gun. Now, there was security video from a nearby home, and it caught the whole kerfuffle. And you can hear Cruz warning the man, quote, I have a pistol. I will shoot you in the toe, she said. I will shoot you. The man laughed, clapped at her, and said, "This is so blanking funny." "I got you," she said. "I got you, B word." That's when you hear the gun, and the man began screaming, and then Cruz started taunting him and called him racial slurs. That man is also white. When the authorities arrived at the home, Cruz was sitting in her vehicle, and police located a handgun there and seized it as evidence and said that she was unrepentant.
Okay.
What in the world?
All right.
I will shoot you in the toe?
I don't think that you're ever supposed to show up to a party and shoot the person who's throwing the party.
No. Her daughters were not at that party, by the way. Not at that point.
Oh, so she went to the wrong place.
No, I think they were there, but they'd already left.
They left.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know that you should do that. That's just me. I've never gone to a party and shot the person who hosted
No.
until they broke out the guitar and started to play, and then I wanted to.
Both of these people seem like the absolute worst.
Or until they suggested playing some sort of game at the party.
No.
Which is, that may be grounds for shoosting.
Listen. No, listen.
Do you think so or no? Pajeski,
No, Matt, no.
If you're at a party
He does this.
and somebody says, "Hey guys, I have this great game to play," and they go and get it, don't you think it's okay to brandish a weapon at that point?
No.
No, because I'm no longer in that party anymore. I'm out.
leave?
When
Yeah,
they come
okay.
back with a game, there's one less person there, and it's not me. It's me.
Okay, regardless of Ranj's, I don't know, whatever it was, rabbit trail here. But would you qualify this as a Hoosier interaction?
Yeah. Well, yeah, or just somebody who, yeah, I think so.
It seems pretty Hoosier.
What if she sort of bring me back my daughter? What if she did that?
I'm going to shoot you in the toe.
Well, she did not threaten to shoot him in the face.
That's true.
So
314-436-7900. Is this a Hoosier? I feel like this is a Hoosier interaction.
I think it probably qualifies.
It is the closest we'll get to Florida man, probably.
Well, I think Missouri does pretty good job of getting close to Florida man sometimes.
But we don't have as many Florida men.
Missouri is a strange state.
It really is.
Arizona is a strange state. Obviously, Florida is number one. But we got a lot of weird things going on here in Missouri.
Yep.
Do not bring out any games at a party, though.
Yeah.
Because that'll get you in serious trouble.
I have AI news.
Oh,
We're gonna get to it.
so what? Did they shut it down? Are we done with AI? No.
No.
Oh.
But it is making you stupid, and it's affirming all your stupid ideas.
Oh, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's next on Chris and Amy.
Start your day with an edge.
Total Information AM.
It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
76 degrees and sunny. Increasing clouds today. Overnight, it will be breezy. There could be some late night thunderstorms. Some could be severe. Those could bring flooding downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, or an isolated tornado. A low of 61. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
This is an important message for anyone struggling with $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or personal loans. Due to ongoing inflation, job loss, and the rising cost of living, many Americans are facing overwhelming credit card balances. If you're drowning in credit card debt, you may qualify for powerful debt relief options currently being offered by National Debt Relief that can significantly reduce what you owe. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a debt consolidation loan. You could qualify for this debt relief option and only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. Act now to see if you qualify. With thousands of 5-star reviews online and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, National Debt Relief has helped over 1 million consumers with their debt that qualified for this relief option. So don't wait. Call the Debt Reduction Hotline now. Dial 800-428-5757. 800-428-5757. That's 800-428-5757.
Attention St. Louis sports enthusiasts. On March 24th, the Blues and Cardinals join forces for a night of STL sports fandom. It's Cardinals night. Immerse yourself in the ultimate celebration of our city's passion for sports when the Blues take on the Washington Capitals and Enterprise Center. Theme night buyers will take home an exclusive Blues and Cardinals co-branded quarter set, perfect for showing your support for both teams. Get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com/promotions.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Story Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Story Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You can feel the Clydesdales circling the field. Hear the stands come alive. Smell the hot dogs, the popcorn, and cold beer in the air. See the crowd rise as the first pitch hits the glove. And just like that, a new season begins. The countdown is on until opening day, and tickets start at just $49. Don't miss St. Louis's favorite holiday. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/opening day.
This season, step up to the ultimate game day experience with Cardinals all-inclusive tickets. Enjoy a full buffet, complimentary bar, and unbeatable views inside Busch Stadium. It's great food with great company for every pitch, hit, and home run. Choose your experience in the Budweiser 703 Club, UMB Champions Club, Professional Red Jacket Club, and more. See the game like a VIP with all-inclusive tickets. On sale now at cardinals.com/tickets.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
AI is making you stupid.
Is it?
And it's worse than you think, and also it is now proven by data. So here are
I'm
two
so glad to finally have an excuse.
to not use AI or why you're stupid.
Why I'm stupid.
Got it. But you don't usually use ChatGPT.
Please continue.
Okay. So here are two. You tell me which one you want me to tell you first, because there's new data for both of these. The first AI truth is that Stanford University proved that ChatGPT tells you you're right even when you're wrong.
Love it.
Also,
love it.
MIT proved that ChatGPT and AI use is making you stupid, like your neural pathways are shutting down. Do you want to do stupid or right first?
Let's do correct first.
Okay. So Stanford proved that ChatGPT tells you you're right even when you're wrong. So here you go. Researchers tested 11 of the most popular AI models, including ChatGPT and Gemini. They analyzed over 11,500 real advice-seeking conversations. They found, their finding was universal, that every single model agreed with users 50% more than a human would. That means when you ask ChatGPT about an argument with your partner, a conflict at work, or a decision you're unsure about, the AI almost always is going to tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to hear. It gets darker. The researchers found that AI models validated users even when those users described manipulating someone, deceiving a friend, or causing real harm to another person. The AI didn't push back. It cheered them on. Then they did this part of the experiment. 1,604 people discussed real personal conflicts with AI. One group got a sycophantic AI. The other one got a neutral-eyed AI. The sycophantic group became measurably less willing to apologize or compromise or see the other person's side. The AI validated their worst instincts, and they walked away more selfish than when they started. And they said, here's the thing, the participants who used the sycophantic AI rated it as higher quality, and they trusted it more, and they wanted to use it again. So again, now they didn't know, the participants didn't know that one was getting neutral and one was getting a sycophantic one. But across the board, if you got the one that validated everything you said, you trusted it more. AI, and it creates this cycle where AI notices that it's being used more, so it becomes more flattering, and the loop keeps tightening. And when you hear this, remember that millions of people ask ChatGPT for advice on their relationships, their conflicts, and their hardest decisions every day. And it pretty much did the same thing. It said, you're right, and whoever you're fighting with is wrong.
Other than the scale to which this is probably happening now, this feels like we could be talking about this 5 years ago. And we're not talking about it with artificial intelligence, but we're talking about it with the media you're consuming, whether it is podcasts, television, radio, because all people do is find the stuff, YouTube, you find the stuff that confirms what you already think, either what you already strongly believe or what you are leaning toward believing. So in that way, it's not different at all.
It's human nature. It's feeding human nature.
And it's worse now than it has been ever, and maybe artificial intelligence is exacerbating that, because now it is you could type a search, like going to Google and having Google tell you what you want to hear. And that's basically what ChatGPT is doing. It's just telling you what you want to hear. And
but people are turning to it for real advice.
Exactly, because they think it's because all of the knowledge of the internet is supposedly in the answers that you're getting from ChatGPT. So that's wild to me, because all the stuff you're describing, if we were having this conversation 4 or 5 years ago, I would think you're just talking about traditional media. I shouldn't say traditional media, because I think that includes, like I said, podcasts. It includes radio, blogs. It includes YouTube, which I guess could be considered podcasts as well. But it's just people looking for confirmation for what they're already believing anyway.
So, but if you do that by watching or consuming news that aligns with your political beliefs, that's one thing. This is so much more intimate. This is questions about your relationships, your work environment, your best friends, your kids. I mean, this is taking it to that whole new level, to deep, profound human interaction, and this AI is just affirming you. And here's the thing, why AI is not your friend. A good friend is a truth teller. You want to find truth tellers, people who just don't go, oh yeah, you're right, whatever. People who will call you out on things.
Yeah.
Who will champion you by, like, if you're doing self-destructive behavior, who will say, hey, don't do that, or yeah, you're wrong. You need truth tellers in your life.
This is why when we had the conversation last hour about Walter Cronkite and the way we trusted news media then, television news media, well, there were only 3 networks. There were 3 networks that you could watch. Instead of now, it's, I'm watching the news, I see this story, I don't know if I like that one. Let me go find a place that is going to confirm my beliefs. It used to be that Cronkite was your friend telling you what you needed to hear, not what you wanted to hear. And you didn't have a million other options that you could go find what you wanted to hear. And I think that's similar with your friend group. Your friend group is your friend group, and you can make more friends. You can subtract friends, but you can make more. It's a little It's not easy to do that, though. It's not easy to say, my friend is telling me that I am full of crap and I need to rethink whatever it is that I'm doing. So let me go find somebody who agrees with me, actually. That's a little tougher to do.
And it's not, a lot of times it's not fun to be the truth teller because you have to be okay with conflict and know that this could be a rough moment in your relationship. But that's why that is what makes us different than robots and computers. Okay, so then skipping to the next one. This is from MIT. MIT showed that ChatGPT users showed 55% weaker brain connectivity than people who didn't use ChatGPT. And this is not after years. This is just after 4 months. So MIT had 54 people who were split into 3 groups. One used ChatGPT to write essays. One used Google, and one used nothing but their own brains. They wore EEG monitors that tracked their brain activity in real time across 4 sessions over 4 months. The brain-only group built the strongest, most widespread neural networks. Google users were in the middle. ChatGPT users had the weakest brains in the room every time. Then they did a memory test. Participants were asked to recall what they had written minutes earlier. 83% of ChatGPT users couldn't quote a single line from their own essay. The words passed through them like they were never there. It gets worse. In the final session, ChatGPT users were told to write without AI. Their brains were measurably weaker than people who never used AI at all. 78% still couldn't recall their own writing because the damage didn't go away when the tool was removed. Meanwhile, brain-only users who tried ChatGPT for the first time, their brains lit up, they wrote better prompts, and they retained more. Their brains were already strong enough to use ChatGPT as a tool, of course, until you use it as a crutch, at which point your brain weakens. So the researchers also found that every ChatGPT essay on the same topic looked almost identical. Facts, dates, names, but less original thinking. Everyone using ChatGPT produced the same generic output while believing it really was their own.
Oh, man.
My gosh.
Yep. I mean, that's kind of what we suspect would happen.
How terrifying is that?
Yeah. Well, the terrifying part of it is that we're going to become so reliant on it. And I do not believe that this is a technology that's going to exacerbate some problems and at a quicker pace than anything before. Because, like you've heard the argument a bunch of times. Well, they said this about books. They said this about newspapers. They said this about computers. And that is all true. I do think the speed at which this is going to happen will be something that we're going to have a difficult time figuring out. And it will be too pervasive too quickly for us to do anything about it, is what I think. And I hope that I'm wrong on that. And I hope that we really aren't raising just the next century of idiots. Yeah,
I think we are.
150 years from now, we're all going to be idiocracy.
For the first time in 100 years.
It feels like we are moving that direction anyway without ChatGPT.
For the first time in 100 years, the nation's IQ went down. First time that ever happened. And they've also proven that high schoolers now have weaker brain processing than their parents did. And that was the first time that's ever happened.
You said AI is making us both stupid and it's convincing us that we're right.
Yes.
Is there a more dangerous combination than being stupid and being convinced that you're right? It's the worst.
It's the worst.
Being confidently wrong.
And the thing is, a lot of stupid people are very confident. Yeah. It kind of goes hand in hand.
Is that Dunning-Kruger, isn't it? That's what that means, right? Where the less you know about something, the more confident you are that you know you're right, essentially.
Yep. Yeah, the Dunning-Kruger effect, cognitive bias, where people with limited knowledge or competence in a domain greatly overestimate their own knowledge and competence.
We are all about to be
my gosh,
biggest population of dumbasses that ever lived. And they used to cut you so that you would bleed, so that you would heal.
At least they were trying to think on their own.
They were.
It kind of makes sense.
I think we need a little more trial and error.
More leeches.
More leeches. Ugh. Love it.
Ugh.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. The Gas House Gang is coming up at 12 o'clock. Bernie Miklasz and me. And don't forget that with the new Cardinals season, we have another season of Oliver Marmol joining the Gas House Gang every Tuesday. Remember how he's given us like a good half hour of content? He will be on with Bernie and Tom and me. That is every Tuesday, and it will start on the 31st. Looking forward to it. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
St. Louis's unofficial holiday is almost here. It's Cardinals opening day, Thursday, March 26th. And KMOX's Cakes and Eggs, presented by Budweiser, is back. This year with a new twist. You don't need a ticket to enjoy KMOX's live broadcast at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, featuring Cardinals alumni, front office personnel, special guests, and so much more. First come, first serve. Doors open at 9 a.m. Celebrate this hometown holiday with Dirt Cheap and Budweiser. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
A night of live rock you gotta see. Foghat and Nazareth. With special guest, The Babies. Saturday, May 2nd at the Family Arena. Foghat, Nazareth. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Nazareth and Foghat live. Sawyer Brown. Some girls don't like boys like me. Oh, but some girls do. And Lone Star. Every little thing that you do. Live this Saturday night at 7, the Family Arena. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Sawyer Brown and Lone Star together live.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 0% financing for 36 months, plus $500 off your project. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, real quick, Amy, remember when I was talking about John Taffer yesterday, the host of Bar Rescue? and who said that St. Louis is one of the top 5 bar cities in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who don't know, Taffer is Bar Rescue is a show where he goes into a struggling bar and he tries to, he yells at
He
everybody.
has a bad attitude.
He's got a bad attitude. It's TV, right? So he berates the people who own or run the place, and there's what you gotta do. And then, they supposedly turn things around. Anyway, he said we're one of the top 5 bar cities in the country. And somebody had told us via Twitter that he actually owned a bar in St. Louis back in the late 80s, early 90s. Are you familiar with Lynn Dickey's Sports Cafe that was at Union Station?
Lynn Dickey?
I do not remember this place. Frank says he remembers it.
Really?
But
Sounds
allegedly...
like Winn-Dixie. I've been to Winn-Dixie.
Well, I have not. But Lynn Dickey's, allegedly he had some sort of ownership stake in that place. Lynn Dickey's at Union Station. I don't remember that.
Wow.
I remember... We had the Hooters. Did we have a Casa Gallardo there too?
So
there was a place on the bottom floor.
There was a Casa Gallardo. If you're looking at the door to the Union Station from the parking lot, Casa Gallardo was on the right, I thought.
Yeah, when you walk, I feel like when you walked into the Union Station, right there to the right was a restaurant. I don't know what it was. I thought it was a Casa.
I thought it was
maybe
Casa because I'd been to that one. So it says Lynn Dickey's was only 91 to 93.
Okay.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that, and then his Wikipedia page,
Yes.
which I had never gone to because why would I? He's credited with creating Sunday Ticket. So, if you want to
Really?
watch all the out-of-market
Yeah.
NFL games, you use Sunday Ticket. Apparently, he created it.
So
Launched in 1994.
Wow.
I don't know how he's a part of that, but allegedly he was.
A 314 says Lynn Dickey's was where the pitch is located.
Oh, yeah. Pitch, and then it was Have a Nice Day Cafe. I went to Have a Nice Day Cafe. We were just talking about this the night of the City game on Saturday. Was talking with a couple of friends about Have a Nice Day Cafe.
Yeah.
And how one time I saw Julio Lugo in there.
Really?
He used to play for the Astros.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, another 314 says, I love Winn-Dixie, but Piggly Wiggly's better. Never been to a Piggly Wiggly. I've been to Winn-Dixie, but not Piggly Wiggly.
I have been to a Piggly Wiggly.
Really? Where?
In Wisconsin, on the way back from the wedding I went to last year, and I bought Spotted Cow there. You know what Spotted Cow
beer?
is? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's a big beer.
New Glarus is
New
the name of
Glarus.
the brewery.
Is it you get it in Wisconsin?
Yes. You
Because
can only get it in Wisconsin.
some friends of mine ran a race and they brought back that beer. 618 says the late 90s Union Station had a Casa Gallardo, a Key West cafe, Hula Hands, Hooters, and a bunch of food court places. I would go back to the 90s. If I had a time machine, I would go back to the 90s. I love the 90s.
90s are pretty cool for me. It was a
Yeah.
good time of your life. Good, a lot of good pop culture stuff
It
was
was a good
going
time
on
in
too.
America.
Seemed like it.
I like the 90s a lot. Miss those 90s.
Oh yeah. So Lynn Dickey was
I like Casa Gallardo.
Lynn Dickey played for the Oilers and the Packers, in case you were wondering. And he was born in Kansas, so I don't know why he had a restaurant in St. Louis or a bar.
He didn't play for the Cardinals ever?
I don't think so. I think he was just I think he was just the Oilers and Packers. And he had a bar where Have a Nice Day Cafe, and now the Pitch is located.
The Pitch.
Speaking of bars by City SC, Maggie O'Brien's, their facelift, it looks good in there.
It's great. A
Yeah.
great facelift.
Yeah.
I
guess it's more of an internal lift
Yeah.
because they renovated the inside.
Like a Brazilian butt lift and a facelift.
Ew, yes.
Yeah.
You're exactly
I
right.
love that stretch of market. It's pretty now.
Amy,
I
here's
don't
what I
have
think.
anything else to say.
I don't either.
I ran
I'm
out of
done.
words.
I'm out.
I ran out of words with 20 seconds left in this show.
But you know what, though? I got plenty of sports words for you. And you know who has even more than that?
Tom Ackerman.
Nope.
Bernie Miklasz.
Bernie Miklasz. He's going to be with me on the Gas House Gang coming up in just a matter of moments. You're going to want to stick around for that and hang out with us. We will talk to Mike Farron from MLB Network Radio at 12:30. We are just over 2 weeks away from the start of baseball's regular season. Anything you missed on this show, KMOX.com, Odyssey app, Go back and get the podcast, all the great interviews, Peter Castor, Jacob Sersosimo, Alex Rich, all there for you. Again, KMOX.com or the Odyssey app. This show's back tomorrow at 9, baby. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Gas House Gang is next. Biggest population of dumbasses that ever lived.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money.